Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to another Geeks Forever podcast. We have been, it's been a couple weeks. It's been a couple weeks. It's been 2 weeks since we've done the show, or more. I know we haven't done the show for the last 2 weeks. The last time we did the show was right after Delta H Con and BotCon. We were going to come back right after Anime Texas, and then we didn't do it last week. But we're back this week. We have a bunch of cons to review. We got a bunch of cons to talk about. We got a lot of things we got to cover. It's a slow start because I just didn't do a very good job of advertising that we were coming back today. But we were on, like I said, 2 week hiatus. We're back. If you're watching the replay, we're back on Mondays. You can call it like a little mid-season finale, and now we're back to mid-season premiere. All right, joining us as always is the man with the plan. He is the Texas Gaming Hedgehog. He runs the skinny for Geeks Five Evers podcast. The one, the only Keyblade Sonic.
Hello, it's been a while, y'all.
And joining us is our special guest. We acknowledge her as our cosplaying queen. Actually got everyone at Delta to do that shit too. It's funny. It's fucking great. Uh, she is a future world champion cosplay. I could see her doing the cosplay summit and winning the whole thing. Please welcome Egg Cosplays.
Hello, it's me.
Acknowledge her. All right, Sonic. What do we have? Do we have a skinny? What's going on in the world since we've been out?
Boy, what has happened?
That's a lot.
A lot has happened. Obviously, the noticeable big one that was covered by our friends at the Ravens Flock. Shout out to them. Obviously, the big stuff that happened. Obviously, the most attraction that's been getting is the writers' strike. The strike happening for the writers and also the actors. And it's going to affect a lot of people. Many people say, "Oh, it's not a big deal" and all that, but it's going to affect. Just give it a few months. You'll see a lot of noticeable stuff.
Basically, Hollywood is about to shut down completely.
Yeah,
It's happened before. It's happened before years ago.
It was in 2008, right?
It was. I think it was before that because
right.
It was so. I don't know if a lot of people remember, but there was a writer's strike that happened right before. I know this because the first season of Breaking Bad wasn't really that great.
Okay, so like the best way I can explain it, I know. Let me add more to that. So this is the first time since the 60s that both the actors and the writers are striking. In 2008, only the writers struck, and they only did for like a few weeks or something like that.
That was long enough for season one of the Breaking Bad to suck.
Yeah, then it affected a lot of shows like Breaking Bad, and then Family Guy actually cut. Their season got reduced thanks to the strike.
Yep. And other thing, it was a big deal. It was, and like a lot of people don't really remember that. I guess everybody has selective memory.
Yeah, and there's also because like this year is it's even more of a bigger thing because since the writers getting into the strike, a lot of things had to be affected. For example, like a lot of these actors were going to make convention appearances, and they can't do that. They can't promote their stuff anymore and all that. And it really affected San Diego Comic-Con this past weekend. Because normally you would see something big, like Marvel Studios would be there, and then they would have this and these other ones, but they canceled their appearances, not just because they don't have anything to show, but also because the writer's strike and the actor strike is affecting them. Like they can't promote it, they can't do this, they can't do that. And also, I learned about this too because this is before I got into cosplay. Now, with knowledge of cosplay, people are getting confused. Like, oh, okay, if we cosplay characters that are part of it, are we crossing the picket line? But so just to be clear, if you're just doing it as a hobby, you're not really crossing the picket line. So just to be clear, especially for those who want to be part of the union, who are non-union right now, who want to apply to be in the union in the future, because if you cross that line, they won't want you. So a good example. Yeah, and so sorry.
My bad. So SAG-AFTRA actually has released a document that does state what is and isn't allowed. And basically, if you can dress as something from an affected media or company, and I think it goes back about a year. However, like, if you want to be in the union at any point, then you shouldn't like take pictures of that costume and post it online, because that is basically free promotion for the media that it's from. So like I believe one of the ones affected is actually Stranger Things, which means I can't wear Eddie Munson to
Yep, that applies to me now.
If you don't take a picture of it, then it's okay.
Yeah,
but like I can't wear it as a to my guest appearance in August.
because I know I did, like you mentioned before, they did release like a document about this, and then some other people, like I know Dragon Con in their group, people were asking about it too, and a couple of people did release like, oh, here's the certain guidelines. I know that hold on, let me try to find it. Oh, here we go. They released this chart as saying, oh, is it okay to cosplay? So are you a SAG-AFTRA or WGA member? Yes. They're telling union members not to cosplay for or post cosplay from a struck studio production. If you're not, then they would ask you, are you a professional screenwriter, actor, influencer as defined by as defined by SAG? If you're hoping to join them, it might be okay depending on the details of the situation of the cosplay. If you're unsure, play it safe. If you're not if you're not a professional and has the Struck Studio specifically requested your cosplay to promote their work, for example, like, hey, if they contacted you, they're like, hey, we want you to cosplay a character from our show or from our production. If they didn't, you could cosplay. It's safe to you to do that. And you could use your post to support for the strike. But if a studio requests your cosplay, don't do it, basically.
Yeah, I saw something like that where they were telling people like to not. I guess I must have misread the situation, because I think the way I interpreted it was like, hey, if you cosplay this character and the studio's trying to book you for like a premiere or whatever, a party or whatever, don't do it. Like, don't take the booking, because somebody had mentioned that they're trying to book cosplayers for events.
Yeah, so basically for that's an example. Like, okay, you shouldn't, just to be safe, if you want to be part of SAG in the future, you shouldn't, don't, you got to be careful.
Yeah, don't pull a Jesse. Don't be ignorant to the situation. What's going on?
Yeah, because it affects a lot of people, and like I said, we're bringing up all these cons that happened. San Diego Comic-Con this past weekend, it has affected some of the like guests and some of the promotions and all that stuff, and it just like, which sucks, because sometimes also, because it's also going to affect what you see on TV, obviously, not just that, what you see in films, because some film productions shut down thanks to the strike. Notably Deadpool 3, that got shut down. And then a couple of movies are rumored to be either postponed or flat out just not going to release them until the strike is settled.
I think Hazbin Hotel's been affected.
Yeah, so shows like Hazbin Hotel, Hell of a Boss. Basically a lot of productions that are part of the union.
Damn. Holy hell.
Yeah, so this is actually a bigger deal than most people will not expect. And, like I said earlier, people are going like, oh, it's not a big deal. And then give it a few months, we're like, oh, man, there's nothing to watch. It's the same stuff over and over again. Well, there you go.
Well, I didn't know. Like, I had heard about the strike. I've been, like, look, I'm going to be honest with everybody. I'm kind of out of the loop. I've been busy the last 2 weeks. Zelda was here. I spent the entire 2 weeks with my kid. If I did get a break, because she's a handful, I was usually taking naps. But like, this is the first time I'm hearing about. Like, this is the first time I've heard about a writer's strike. This is the first time I'm hearing that there's actually like the actors involved too, which is nuts.
And unrelated, but either UPS or FedEx is also on strike.
Yeah, that's another one too. They're looking to be on strike too, and it's going to pretty much fuck up the holidays.
Yeah. Fuck it, we're on strike.
Right.
That's right.
And the big union for the auto parts manufacturing is apparently, there are whispers they're about to go on strike as well.
Yeah, so and then another one I just remembered, like train stations and like some of the train like tracks and all that stuff. They were getting railroads, like the railroads, they were on strike at one point. So yeah, let's be honest. I believe it's Union Pacific. That was like recently, like a few months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 2023, the year of strikes.
A everyone's going on strike. It's do it. You know what? I'm gonna go to GameStop and be like, I'm on strike from your fucking high prices.
I don't think that's how that works.
You know what? I'll take what I can get.
That ain't it. Yeah, you'll
Yeah.
you'll get something out of it. A lifetime ban from the stores.
It's, you know what? They're going under anyway. We went to a
Yeah,
GameStop yesterday, and
it's
I'm like,
depressing.
hey, are y'all going out of business? Are y'all closing down? Like, no, why? Because y'all ain't got shit.
No, seriously though, I'll side on Goku on that one. I've been to a GameStop recently. It's like the most depressing thing ever. It's
So
like
the
sad.
one, so we're in Houston. So the one in 290, great. They look great. They have all kinds of cool stuff. They got all kinds of great stuff. The one in Huntsville, amazing. The one at Memorial City Mall, it looks like they're closing down.
Yeah, I've been to that one before, and it's just like, is there? Any, it's like there's some stuff there. Like you saw that in December, it's still there in July.
You know what's crazy? People are still applying to work at GameStop. I have a friend that's applying to work at GameStop.
Yeah.
You ever watch any of my shows, dude? Don't do it. That place is a train wreck.
Mm-hmm. A lot of people like on TikTok and all that stuff be posting like, "Oh, a day of life of a manager at GameStop," and it's like nothing.
No, dude, it's not. So I worked at
It's
GameStop like in 2008, 2007 to 2008. It was fucking horrible. Like I hated it. Like it was always my dream to work. And I've said this multiple times on the show, but it was my dream to work at GameStop. And GameStop took my dream and shit all over it.
yeah,
Like they
that's that,
just they literally took my dream on the floor, spread their ass cheeks, and took a big old turd on it. I know that sounds disgusting, but that's the best way to describe my experience working for that company.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I'm not even. I wish I was exaggerating. Like, ugh, it was so horrible. I'll never work for that fucking company again.
Working retail is a dream killer. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people would say. I know we don't want to try to talk about like political and all that stuff, but like the retail thing, I sympathize with some of the retail workers sometimes because some of them would have to deal with a lot of ridiculous bullshit. Like
Yeah,
sometimes you would have to deal with people who would be like, "Oh, hey, I saw this on sale for like 20 bucks cheaper at this store." Okay, when? Like 3 weeks ago. Is it there now? No. Well, I can't give it to you for under 20 bucks. And then they would get up on your ass and be like, "Oh, I want to see the man." Karens, basically.
so you guys are gonna have to forgive me. Restream changed the format of the website again
Mm-hmm.
without like they're just as bad as YouTube when it comes to changing shit. I'm trying to figure out the new controls, but this is I can confirm, depending on the store location and the manager, this is true.
Yeah.
This
It,
is totally based on the manager. Sometimes our manager would clock us out because we weren't allowed to be clocked in no more, and we would still be working.
that's kind of abusive, don't you think?
Like
Isn't that
that's all.
That sounds
Look,
illegal.
it is illegal now that I'm grown. I know better, but I was like 19 at the time. I didn't know
Yeah.
shit.
Right.
So I lit them like we just lit them like there's a reason why a lot of these managers hire like the younger you are the better for them because you know less
Mm-hmm.
and you're more they can manipulate you more into taking their fucking bullshit and abuse.
Yeah.
So like I'm gonna like dedicate an entire dark side of the so there are a lot of things we're gonna talk about today, including dark side of the community. Dark side of the community's had one episode, and so we're definitely gonna do it again. We were trying to keep it to like one every 3 weeks, but we're definitely we had announced that we were going to do episodes about anime Matsuri starting in August, which is coming up, so we will
Mm-hmm.
start doing that.
Fast
But
approaching.
we're going to do anime Matsuri, we're going to do Pokemon fans, we're going to continue the lowly Shota discussion, and we're going to do one on GameStop.
Yeah. And you're probably wondering, what does that have to do with the community? Well, a lot of gamers are part of the community. And a
Exactly.
lot of a lot of people, they purchase collectibles, they purchase cosplay stuff from GameStop. And there's a lot of that. And GameStop is, like we're saying, unfortunately, it's dealing with a lot to the point where going to one just looks so depressing going in there. I went, like I said, I went there last week. It looks so empty. The worker looks so miserable being there. they follow the script all the time. It's like, hey, how can a GameStop? What can I get for you? Oh, have you signed up for this? I'm like, I already have one, man. I know. I know. I've sympathized with you guys. You have to read the same script over and over. I get it.
Mm-hmm. And one more thing we are going to talk about briefly on this episode that we'll talk about on Dark Side. I just want to bring it up later, but I had mentioned I've mentioned to all my friends in private, like in our private conversations, there is a con crash coming.
Really?
Like, we're about to have a con crash. I mentioned, like, hey, we're oversaturated with conventions. We're going to have a crash soon. Like,
okay. We're going to talk about that later, so hope you keep listening. Cause...
I hope you guys, like, we're going to talk about that in Dark Side. We're going to talk about it briefly. But there's a chance that crash is coming sooner than I thought. Based off of some of the insider information that I was given. I can't really go into detail as to what, but it's pretty bad. It is pretty fucking bad. Like, it is much worse than I thought. And somebody's like, why would you want that? I don't want that. But I've seen this happen before. This happened like in 2009, 10, 11.
Yeah.
Like, there were a shit ton of cons that are no longer around anymore. Or that are rebranded. It was, so it's kind of hard to say. Yes, the recession had played a major part into it, but at one point there was like an anime convention every 3 to 4 weeks.
Yeah. In fact, I think this weekend there's going to be like 2-3 conventions at the same time.
And in Texas, we had 3 in 8 days.
Yeah.
And I think there were more.
Yeah, there were probably more.
This is getting insane.
So someone in the comments wrote Convention Wars, Con Wars, the Odor Awakens.
The Odor, yeah.
The Odor Awakens.
The Odor Awakens, yes. On a brighter note though, Barbie Girl.
Yeah, Barbenheimer. So
head to head.
Yeah, so I was gonna bring that up in the skinny, but I was like, you know what, this might as well.
Technically, we're still in the skinny.
Yeah, it doesn't matter at this point. The skinny just merges to the main thing anyway.
Yeah.
The skinny is the appetizer, and then transitions to the full course. What I'm even telling you, it's transitioning to the full course.
That's right.
Yeah. So anyway, people wonder Barbenheimer. So this past weekend, Warner Brothers released Barbie, based on the dolls, obviously, and Universal released Oppenheimer, which is based on what was it? What's his name? I forgot.
The dude's name was like
J. Robert Oppenheimer. My bad.
Yes.
So he's basically the father of the nuclear bomb, basically, of the atomic bomb. Mm-hmm. And both of them were released at the same day, and that's where Barbenheimer came from. And this past weekend, Barbie came out on top with $162 million. I believe it's either worldwide or domestically.
I think it's domestically.
It's actually the biggest domestic opening this year, and it's crazy.
Come on, Barbie, let's go party.
Yeah, she sure partied, all right.
Yeah,
and then meanwhile, Oppenheimer actually, despite being in second place with $82.5 million, actually exceeded expectations. They thought it was gonna be like 60 million, and then I think thanks to, I guess we go
the memes. Let's just put it
all
out
the
there.
jokes,
the memes.
The memes. Yep, the memes. If anything, with this strike, I feel like the strike kind of benefits, like the memes and all the jokes that we were making about it. I think it helped. Obviously, it helped both movies, and it is crazy. So, Goku, I know you went to see Barbie. What did you think of it?
It was great. I loved it. It was funny. It was sad. It got political. It got depressing.
Got a bit too real.
It was out there.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Because I heard a lot about that too. A lot of people were like bringing it up. How like, okay, this is actually
It got too real. Like.
Yeah. Actually,
it's self-aware as well. It's kind of like
the Lego Movie.
No. Yes. It's kind of like Lego Movie, but it's also like It's more like Deadpool in the self-awareness.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. And like, because a lot of people I know, they actually went to see the both movies, and they were telling me, "Hey, whatever you do, don't watch Oppenheimer first, then Barbie. Watch Barbie first, then Oppenheimer, because you actually be less depressed about it." I'm like, really?
Dude. So I can say so. Okay, so I I saw Barbie Saturday night. It was
Okay.
great. It was we took pictures with the Corvette. I sent the pictures to Egg.
Yeah.
It was great.
I
So we
want
took.
that car so bad.
Yeah, that's a sweet. It was a sweet car. And then you guys took pictures of the boxes in the theater.
Yeah, we did that. So we did that Sunday when we went to go see Oppenheimer, which is weird. So we took the pictures of the car Saturday when we went to go see it at Tinseltown, but we they didn't have the box
Yeah.
at Tinseltown 290. So when we went to go see Oppenheimer, they had it at Memorial City Mall.
Right.
So we took the pictures then, and we're there to see Oppenheimer. And dude, to build up some context, because people are like shitting on my review of the movie. When I watched it, I had drove to Dallas and back. I left at 5 in the morning, got back like at 4:20 in the afternoon. Decided to go to the movies with my friends.
Yeah.
I had no clue the movie was 3 hours long.
Oh, Oppenheimer. Yeah, I was kind of surprised about that. Someone told me it was 3 hours, and I was like, "Oh shit, it's gonna be three
I
hours."
was
Okay.
thinking like a 2 hour, less than 2 hour movie.
Right. Yeah.
Uh, so I legitimately fell asleep during the movie.
Hmm.
Not because it was okay. I was so exhausted. I'm a history buff. I love history. I watch, like history documentaries all the time, especially about World War II. But like, I was so exhausted that it just couldn't keep me like
Awake.
awake.
Hmm.
So I fell asleep in the theater and people heard me snoring,
Oh,
and it was so bad. And somebody's like, and nobody even bothered to wake me up because I think they understood. Like people thought that I was trying to make a statement about how fucking boring the movie was. Dude, like the theater was like, I get it. It's like it's more of a documentary type style, but
Yeah.
it's 3 fucking hours long, bro. If they could have cut 45 minutes off,
Hmm.
it would have been a lot better. I would have given it like a 7. But it was so damn long. I fell asleep. Plus,
You.
we had shitty seats. Like I was like, literally, like sit, okay, if you go to your living room right now,
Yeah.
sit in front of like sit like 3 feet away from your TV, but sit at the very corner where you have to turn your
Oh.
head like this the whole time.
Yeah. Yeah. I always hate sitting there. I once saw a movie there, and my neck was like killing me for like a few days, and I'm like, this sucks.
And plus, I had such bad luck. I got the one fucking seat where the recliner controls didn't work. Everybody else is like chilling. I'm sitting there like an asshole. I'm like, God damn it. And
Sitting like.
and then like, dude, it's just like I give it a 3 out of 10. Honestly, maybe I need to rewatch it,
Right.
but it's
That's.
super long. Like a lot of it, like they replayed a bunch of scenes like 3 or 4 times. It kind of felt lazy. Like Robert Downey Jr. and Homeboy, what's his face that play Oppenheimer, they're great. Like, but it's like it's a thinker, and I was too tired to be thinking. I'm like,
Right. I feel like you said, I feel like it should be some. I feel like it's a movie for like history buffs, I guess. And also,
right,
it's something you should watch if you like are not tired at all. If you're like, okay, you have a lot of energy and you're just watching, because like a 3 hour movie for most of us is like a drag. You know what I mean? Like I'll admit, when I first saw the Batman movie that came out last year with Robert Pattinson, I didn't know that movie was 3 hours long, and by like towards the end, I fell asleep a little bit because, to be fair, I was tired that day early in the day anyway.
yeah, like
Similar to you were. And,
I watched that one at home, and I had to pause it like halfway through to give myself like a 15-minute break.
yeah, so it's also not just because we're older or that. It's just it's just 3 hours. Sometimes a little long. But like people would be like, "Well, you went to see Avengers Endgame. That was like 3 hours long." I'm like, "Yeah, here's the difference. I got hype for it, and the hype gave me energy, and I fucking
Oh,
watched the whole
see,
time."
yeah, that's different. I saw that one in 4D. The seats were shaking. Like it sprayed water in my face. It flashed lights, and when there was electricity, the usher tased me. Like so realistic.
Right.
But
So
like, I mean, it's just it's a lot of talking for 3 hours. It's all talking, and then the atomic bomb, like the build up for it. Like I went to go see everyone went to go see the atomic bomb explode.
Yeah, that's what they wanted to see.
Right, and I mean, it's just
That's where all the jokes came from.
right, and like I don't know, man. It's just like it.
It wasn't it.
And then Eric or Zarek or whatever the fuck you call him on Facebook started like him and Asian got into a fight because he posted on Facebook that like this was the prequel to Godzilla, and Asian starts telling him that he's stupid in the car. Like, dude, you're an idiot. And like that was probably more entertaining than the movie.
So basically, a bunch of owls fighting each other, right?
Yeah, it was a bunch of owls. Oh yeah, because of the pictures. Yeah. So like, but Barbie Girl was great though, dude. Like, I walked in that movie and I walked out. I was like, "Fuck, I'm Alan."
Oh yeah, Michael Cera's character.
Yeah.
Nah, but that's really cool. I'm thinking of checking it out.
Oh, you gotta watch it. Especially like somebody was like, "I didn't even see John Cena in the movie." That's the point.
Yeah, duh. What do you mean? You literally didn't see him. Of course you didn't.
He's in there though. He has like a 5-second cameo. It's great.
Yeah.
The movie. Yeah, he's in there. He's a mermaid.
Yeah.
What?
He announced that. So, funny story about it. He got a role in it because in London he paid for Margot Robbie's food at a restaurant, and he's like, "Hey, do you want to be part of the movie?" He's like, "All right."
Let's do it.
I love that.
Yeah, that's how a lot of actors are. That they just like The Rock does that. Schwarzenegger used to do that. He appeared in like he was in town and The Rock was filming a movie and they invited him and The Rock he's just like, "Let's do it." And then like it's the rundown. He makes like a 5-second cameo where he walks past him. He's just like, "Good luck," and that's it. That's like the whole cameo. It's great. Like they just give him like small. They give him small cameos as a way to fit him into the movie, but not to fit him in the script. So it works. It works out. It was great. I loved it. Barbie Girl, definitely 8 out of 10. I think that it's like my second favorite movie this year. I think I really love I can't remember. See, this year's kind of sucked because there aren't too many movies that I've seen this year that are memorable. And this is before the strike.
I've seen like one.
We try to watch all the movies and talk about them on the podcast. I'm definitely going to go see the Ninja Turtles movie, and comes out on our birthday.
That's right. Yeah, it's out. Sorry. Yeah, so it's me and Goku. We have the same birthday, and people don't know. It's actually what is it? Next Friday?
Yep.
Already? God damn.
Yeah, because I get paid.
That's your birthday present from the job.
Yeah, paycheck. No day off, just a paycheck.
Just a paycheck.
After slaving for 80 hours.
Slave free.
John Cena is also DLC for Mortal Kombat 1.
That's right. The Mortal Kombat 1 is getting DLC consisting of Peacemaker, Omni-Man from Invincible, and Homelander from The Boys.
Okay, so I have to agree with 17 here. Let's go watch the movie again. I have to go see the movie again.
Yeah.
Because apparently there is like okay. So I heard that like I fell asleep in the movie, so I missed like a good chunk of it. Apparently there's a sex scene and I completely missed it, and apparently it plays a vital role to the movie.
Oh.
I was like, there was? He's like, yeah, it was actually kind of sad. I was like, huh.
Sounds rough.
Oof. No, my response was oof.
Oof. Oofy doofy.
Oof. So yeah, I gotta go see the movie again, but I gotta see. I'm probably gonna chug a Red Bull while I'm there.
Let's drink a soda.
No, I did take a soda.
Still fell asleep.
I had an icy and a soda, and I still fell asleep. And it wasn't like a regular theater. It was the theater with like the surround sound where it shakes the seats.
Yeah, like
and
40X
shit.
and all that. Yeah.
Like it wasn't like 4D, but it was like the stereo, like the no. They have the D box where like the screen is still like standard, but the sound is like boom.
Yeah. Okay, gotcha.
It like shakes the seat and shit, and it was like,
That's
and I still fell asleep.
Yeah, it's usually like a Cinemark thing, right?
Yes, yeah, Cinemark they're really good about
Yeah.
their sound. I
Yeah.
still fell asleep.
Yeah. Because I did. I don't know. This is before Barbie and Oppenheimer came out. I actually finally had the time to see the new Transformers, and I actually liked it. I actually enjoyed it.
So yeah, Transformers was great. Transformers was definitely much better than the last few Transformers.
Yeah.
Um,
I think it was the second best one behind Bumblebee, personally.
I'm gonna go see Blue Beetle, Ninja Turtles. I am probably gonna go see.
Uh, Actually, speaking of Ninja Turtles, they're doing like a special showing on Saturday, so you get to see it like 4 days early
Oh, that's right. Yes,
on Saturday.
SJ asked me if I wanted to go see it,
Yeah,
but I
Green Mayhem.
cannot because I haven't decided, and I'm
Hmm.
probably gonna end up contacting somebody. Uh, but we do have a panel Saturday at Etchy Fiesta.
This weekend, right?
That's right, this weekend. So uh, just hold on. I'm also creeping on Anime Matsuri's page.
Because they announced a lot of guests and stuff.
Did they? I didn't even know that. They
They
announced the meat crayon
the,
guy. I don't know who the
yeah,
hell
the
that is.
animator Meat Canyon, so they announced him to be part of Anime Matsuri, and then they
Oof.
also announced they announced that reviewer recently, that drunk reviewer or something like that. Drunk.
A
I forgot.
drunk reviewer.
Let me see. Hold on.
Yeah, that's
I'm trying to remember his name. I'm sorry. I'm trying to remember.
it's all good.
Oh, the critical drinker.
The critic. Okay, that
I
just
have no
sends a
idea who that is.
me neither. I didn't even know who Meat Canyon was.
Yeah, Papa Meat.
I watch
His animations are pretty funny yet cursed.
Yeah, I watch a lot of like horror stuff, so I've seen plenty of Meat Canyons. I'm kind of sad he's going to Matsuri. It's like, dude. please
Yeah,
don't
I felt
go to the
personally
foot.
I would have liked her. It was like, hey, can you delay your appearance to next week? Come to Colossal instead.
Oh, that's right. So we might only have one panel for Colossal, but we did get announced as press for Colossal Con this year. So I need to
Yeah. So
Heyo.
get my hotel.
Geeks Firever will be at Colossal Con.
That's right. That's my first Colossal Con. I got my so I don't go into water barefooted. I know it's weird.
Mm-hmm.
So I got my water shoes
There
ready.
you go. It was very smart because sometimes you could probably get like cut or something like that, especially.
Cut. Somebody's got athlete's foot. I ain't playing that fucking game.
Yeah.
There's the worst thing to catch in a pool.
Yeah.
I'm gonna catch somebody's fucking lack of deodorant, and they're gonna catch these hands. If you smell that, do they use chlorine water for the water park, or they use salt water?
Chlorine. It's a water. It's like a pool.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
because a lot of pools use salt water now.
Oh yeah, some of them do. But I know not only there's an indoor water park, there's outdoors too. So they just opened the outdoor part this year, so it's gonna be pretty big
This is
this
at
year.
the Kalahari, right?
Yeah, Kalahari and Round Rock, Texas.
Calamari.
Yep.
Delicious.
Hell yeah, who wants some fried squid?
That's right. Mm.
That's calamari.
Oh, okay, my bad. No, it's a running joke. It's a running joke on the show where I pronounce shit wrong.
Yeah.
Because I didn't do it at purpose. I didn't do it on purpose at first, but it became a running joke. So now, whenever somebody says something, I'll say the wrong thing.
For example, he said Ochako from My Hero Horchata.
Oh yeah, no, for real, because I didn't know her, like I never got her name right. So I'm like Horchata.
Yeah, might as well just say. Yeah, at least we know what you're talking about.
Close enough.
Delicious.
Yeah. So press and media is different from the photography because I saw they were charging. Yeah, so it's really different. Press and media is very different than photography.
Oh no, they I read the shit that they like. Not only like is my shit like comp, but like if I want to interview Johnny Young Bosch's ass, I can interview Johnny. I'm allowed to interview his ass. So, Mr. Ass, what are the farts like? Boop, fart.
No, he's just gonna talk. He's gonna talk like the butt heads from South Park, where he's like, "Hello, Mr.
So we will be at the con reviewing it. So definitely we'll see how it is, and we'll see how that goes. But this year it's pretty interesting.
No cons in the way.
That's right. And but there is no San Japan for Geeks 5 ever. I purposely missed the deadline. I decided to not go. We're also not doing Anime Fest, and I'm debating Itchy Fiesta. I'm just burnt out.
Yeah, you just need like a break, especially this past summer. You know, a lot of stuff has happened.
Right. So I haven't had like I had Delta, BotCon, and then I had Anime Texas less than a week later, and then I had Zelda here for 2 weeks, and I'm just burnt. I haven't had a break.
Hello from Discord. Hello.
Hello.
We have a JP. Hello.
So we're here to talk about all the cons that we haven't reviewed because when Zelda's here, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. She is so bad. Like she does not want to go to bed. She didn't go to bed one night until like 5 in the morning.
Fish.
And I like it was so bad. I
be-
called my boss like, hey, I'm coming in late to work because this is some bullshit. Like, and I told him exactly what happened. Like, I didn't even lie to my manager. I'm like, hey, I'm coming in late because my kid did not go to bed until 5 in the morning. He's like, oh, that's fine. You can come in late. It's not like because my job is weird. I'm in production, so me and the manager are really cool because he knows I don't bullshit. Like, I'm completely honest with him, and I like work. Whatever they ask me to do, I do because I'm a trainer. So whatever, but it's just too many cons, dude, guys. Like, and then we decided that we're gonna go to the Renaissance and we're going to Onicon this year. We want to try Anime North. We're gonna try for smaller cons. So next year we will definitely do the bigger cons. So I've been debating on this for a long time, and I've decided. So people have been asking us about the Acon situation, if we'll ever come back to Acon, and I have decided, like after really giving it some thought and thinking about the pros and cons, I've decided that they can kiss my ass, and I'm going on a cruise next year. So fuck it.
That's big. Ooh.
Yeah, I'm going on a fucking cruise.
Yeah. I mean, that's
Con
kind
you
of.
got to next. I'm going on a boat con.
Actually, you know, it's funny. There was, I think recently there was a, I don't know, there was a con. They said they're gonna do a con on a cruise.
That just sounds horrible.
Cruise con, and like I was gonna say, it's like, okay, that sounds really weird. If I would go to a cruise, I probably would just go to like, you know, the regular Disney ones or the Carnival or even that Cruise Jericho one. I don't know, Rock and Ranger. I don't know. So if I ever go to a cruise, that's something. But it's like Goku for me next year. There's a lot of things I wouldn't rule out. Like I've been thinking of probably heading to more out of state cons, but it just varies. You know, obviously a lot can happen between now and then, so we'll see. Like for example, Katsucon. Everyone talks about Katsucon a lot, and I've been thinking about it. Obviously, Anime Expo next year, or maybe something bigger. We'll see. We don't know.
But yeah, I have to agree with Farknocker. Like that con would smell like fish and the open sea. The reason why I would not be down for a boat con is because it'd be like 60% One Piece cosplayers.
Yeah,
and
it would.
I would probably throw myself overboard. I would literally dress like a seal and throw myself in the water in front with a bunch of orcas.
Just dress up like a shark.
Now, having a con on a decommissioned one that's forever docked in one spot, that sounds like it would be cool.
That sounds like it might be haunted. Hey, look at that ghost cosplay. That's awesome. Turns out it's real.
I'm not saying a haunted one. I mean, they decommission cruise liners all the time.
That's true. That's not interesting. I want to travel. I'm just sick of my traveling. Is only when there's a convention. And like it's interesting because we've had several discussions, and this all happened at Anime Texas. Like we were talking about the community, what's wrong with the community, things that are going on, and like there's so much. Like it's not drama; it's more like tea. Because it's not like a lot of infighting, but there's a lot of things going on. Like the drama doesn't just stop with the cosplayers, the congoers. Like there's drama between staff members, between like other cons and whatever the case may be, panelists, whatever the case. Like, and so it's insane to like hear these things and yada yada yada, and but like there are a lot of like I feel like the community is. I entered the cosplay contest for the first time in a year at Anime Texas because I don't do cosplay competitions anymore. But I entered, and I didn't think I was going to win anyway. Because first off, my cosplay is falling apart. Like if you look at it closely, it's a year old now, and I'm like trying to like do minor repairs, but I just have to remake it. I mean, the community there seems to have gotten a lot better, but like there are other aspects of the community that have gotten progressively worse. So yeah, we're going to talk about that, but we're also going to talk about the cons and review. I guess we can go ahead and start with. But there's a lot of things we're going to talk about today. So how many? So in the chat, let me know if you were at Anime Texas this year. By the way, I'm going to give a shout out to Bry, homeboy, helped me out, spot me some gas money to go to Dallas, come back. 17 as well. But we're going to talk about. So how many of y'all went to Anime Texas? I know Sonic was at Anime Expo.
Yes, I was. That's why I wasn't at the last show that you guys had. So I actually spent a week in Los Angeles, and not only did I go to Anime Expo, I also decided, you know what, I might as well do it because it's the first year. I checked out Super Nintendo World over at Universal.
How was that?
All right, so I'm sure people would like to know. Got curious, just like, oh my god, you went to that? And don't worry, I rewatched that the week after Delta that episode, and I was like,
I saw your fucking pictures. I was like, this motherfucker.
Repping G5E at fucking Nintendo.
I was so salty too. I was just like,
pissed out of the world.
I like you ever like people when they're on their phone.
Yeah.
You're on your phone just like that. But I literally stand at your pictures like.
It's like that scene from The Boys.
Bitch. I was so salty, dude. Like I was mad. Like.
All right.
Fuck.
So, anyway, first I'll just talk about Super Nintendo World because I'm sure a lot of people would be curious. So, going into it, I knew because it was going to a amusement park in the summer. You would expect to be really packed, and ahead of time, people would tell me, "Hey, if you're gonna go to that, you should buy an early access pass. So basically, for $20 extra, you go there early. You'll be basically you'll be priority to get in first." I'm like, oh, "Okay." I wasn't able to get one because it sold out the day of I was gonna go, and I was like, "Oh man, we're fucked once we get over there." But once I got there, I really didn't need one. It was actually we went inside, no issues, nothing. It was really cool in there. So the big attraction, obviously, you get these power-up bands. So basically for like $40, there's like these little wristwatches kind of. But what you do is you actually get to play like a couple of mini games. You earn coins, and you get to like keep track of it on the app. So you just download the app for free. You sync your wristband to it, and basically you collect a lot of coins. You do all that stuff, and it's really cool. It felt like you were actually in the world. And that's the thing I was really happy about. And even though the line was really long, it was like about an hour and a half to get into the Mario Kart ride. It was actually kind of cool. It was actually pretty interesting. I know I was expecting it to be a bit faster. That's the thing that I didn't like about it. It was like it felt kind of a bit slow. But the point of it is you're supposed to get as many points as you can within your cart. So basically it's a 4-seater. You in one cart, so basically you have like 4 people in a group, and then you use these goggles, these visors, and with this technology, it's kind of like VR, it's AR, and you look around, and then you start shooting items at like your opponents, and the more you shoot them, the more points you get, and then you see any secret ones, you earn more points, and the amount of points you get will go towards your power-up band. So if you sync in your power-up band ahead of time. And it was really cool. I liked Super Nintendo World. If you get a chance, just go to it. They are making one in Orlando, which will be bigger. The one in Hollywood's a little smaller, but it's actually not too bad. I actually enjoyed it. Obviously, the one in Japan is all that. So regarding Anime Expo, I know you probably I'm already going to address the elephant in the room about the lines, because I'm sure people are going to ask about the crowding and the lines. All right. I will tell you this. Every year I go to Anime Expo, every year I always hear those complaints. It's so packed. It's very crowded. It's too much for the fire marshal, which is true, but at the same time, it should not come as a surprise, considering it's the biggest anime convention in North America. But luckily for me, I've been there 4 times. This is actually this was my 4th time going, and I'm fully aware, I'm fully prepared. I'd say, just go a little bit later. Just try not to because if you go there sooner, it's obviously you're going to be in the line for a while. But luckily, the line got a little smooth, ran smooth. You were able to get in quicker than I originally thought because it was kind of weird because this year was on a Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday this year. I have no idea why they did that. It was really effing weird. But it's the biggest anime convention there. You get like a lot of free stuff, which is surreal, which is one of the big perks of me going to this thing. They announce a lot of stuff. They show off a lot of things in their booths. They show off a lot. They bring a lot of from the Japanese industry, a lot of them from Japan, and all that. It's just basically San Diego Comic-Con but with anime, basically. Going all 4 days, it was really weird going to a con on a Tuesday. But I thought it was like, oh, nobody's going to be here. Turns out it still got packed. Just not as packed as it was Saturday and Sunday. But luckily next year they'll go back to the weekend thing. It'll be Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So that's great. I'm kind of glad because this was so weird to us.
Yeah, so unfortunately, as much as I would like to go next year, all the same conventions that were this year are back to back to back to back next year.
Yeah.
So, and we plan on talking to Bacon and doing more for BotCon, and then we'll go from there. But we plan on doing a lot more next year than we did this year.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that I'm overwhelmed at the moment because Zelda's she's 4 now and she's definitely a handful. So we'll see. She'll be 5 by the time next year. So I might bring her with me. Who knows?
Yeah.
We will see. Probably not though. But next year, okay. But I want to acknowledge something. You have to imagine that the con is very self-aware of the lines.
Yeah, they are self-aware, man. I think it's too big for that place because every year it gets bigger every year. Because last year I went, I thought, oh my god, this is so many people. This year there was a massive amount of people, and what sucks too is because I feel like they should do a thing where next year I feel like they should just cap it. You know what I mean? They should just sell on this certain number of passes and that's it. You know what I mean? Especially and I thought considering the price for this year's badges I thought, oh, there's gonna be less people. No, it's still sold out, and I'm like, really? Like it's still sold out? People every year they complain how packed it is, and people still go, and all that. But it's just like it gets insanely packed. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I went in there knowing it's gonna be packed, but I didn't expect it to be how massive it was. And also it kind of for a lot of people they felt overwhelmed by it. There was somebody I knew there was their first time at Anime Expo, and they're like, oh my god, I heard stories about it, but I never, this is ridiculous. I'm like, yeah, I know, trust me, it sucks, especially when you have to deal with and that's why they say you have to be very prepared for it. You have to be prepared. Bring essentials. Bring your power bank. Bring snacks. Bring all that stuff because I will tell you this, man. You're better off bringing snacks because are you really gonna spend $20 on a basket of fries and 3 pieces of chicken?
Look. There are cosplayers. There are con goers, weebs that won't buy $3 deodorant, but they'll go buy a $300 waifu figure. So you're preaching to the wrong crowd at this point. Not that crowd. Yeah, our followers are great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it just. But like I said, every year I see it on Facebook or on TikTok. It's like, oh my god, it's so packed. No, I'm like, dude, it's like that every year. Should not come as a surprise. And someone said this pretty good. It's like same article, different year.
Yeah. No, I agree. I 100% agree.
Yeah, but then also I feel like Anime Expo, they should use more of the other surrounding buildings, not just what they have, because not only they use the convention center, they also use the JW Marriott across the street from it. They also use another building, but I feel like they should expand more to it. I feel like they could have used because next door to the convention center is the Crypto.com arena, which is where the Lakers and the Clippers they play there. That's their basketball arena, and I feel like they could have used that too, because every year I go, it's like empty and I don't see any performances. Nothing happens there. So I feel like they could have used that too, but I guess maybe because it got expensive or something. I don't know, because I feel like they really ought to use more of it. And for Anime Expo, I tell people every year, I said, unless you're claustrophobic, if you don't like crowds, I would not recommend.
Yeah.
I wouldn't recommend this conventions. But if it's something that you want to go like one day or like one time in your life, like a bucket list thing, yeah, I'd say go for it. It's just also depending on what you're looking for, because like panels too, because a lot of people be like, oh, I want to go to this panel. I'm like, okay, well, you better be prepared ahead of time. You can't just go like, oh, I'm gonna be there 2 hours ahead. No, in some cases you may have to be there like 3-4 hours just to go, because sometimes they'll cap that line, and once that line is capped, they will not allow people in. Even if people come out from the inside of the panel, they won't let you in because fire marshal orders and all that stuff.
Hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. Definitely, like, take that into, if you're gonna go next year. Like I said, I would like to go. Lucky for me though, I don't really attend other people's panels, so it's whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely would like to check it out, and maybe actually check out panels. But we'll see. Definitely, it's definitely on my bucket list. It's
Yeah.
probably 2025. It's
Right.
just that. So with Geeks 5 Ever, we are no longer. We are going national next year. Like, that is it. We are not just focusing in Texas anymore.
Yeah, we
We
want
are
to do
going.
cross the
Mhm.
country and all that stuff.
So we are definitely going national,
Mm-hmm.
and so be on the lookout for us, because we will be hitting up out of state cons,
Yeah.
and it's
We
gonna it's gonna be interesting.
And also like not just panels and all that stuff, and even cosplayers out there. Cosplayers, they go all in on it. They would like try to bring out their best A game in a way. It's not like a competition or nothing, but it's just like a lot of people would bring out like their best cosplays up there, because people ask me, it's like, oh, how are the meetups there? It's like, dude, they're massive. Sometimes this year was a little tough for me because there was a couple of cosplay meetups I wanted to attend. However, some of them would be like at the same day at the same time, and I'm like, dude, my hotel's like, I don't know, a few miles away. I can't just drive back and in just to like change out and all that stuff. I wouldn't have time. So that's something to keep an eye out too, because like a lot of cosplayers are really into it. Um, so another issue I do always have though is the way they would have the artist alley. So the artist alley would be, you enter the front of the convention center. The artist alley is actually downstairs, but like a small downstairs, maybe like a couple of steps down, and it's in the essentially the garage, and it's really hot in there, and I really feel bad for the artists in there. And it's like it gets packed in there too, and sometimes unfortunately there's been like reports of like robberies, like people like stealing stuff in the artist alley, like their charms and all that stuff. And I'm like, if you ever do that, fuck you if you do that.
So let me ask you about that. So on a scale of like anime Matsuri to 10, how bad is? I mean, on a scale of 1 to anime Matsuri, how bad is it finding or getting information about the artist alley?
Getting information about the artist alley.
Yeah, like finding out where
Oh,
it is, like where
uh
it's located, like advertising in general, just everything in general.
oh no, dude, it's so easy, man. Once you step inside, they tell you where to go. Artist alley this way. It's like a mall, a directory, but it's like a giant, massive banner, and it just tells you where to go. It's like entertainment hall, turn right. Uh, exhibit hall, go straight. Artist alley downstairs, and I was like, oh, okay, pretty easy. And they don't often change the layout, so it's pretty, like at this point, it's like, okay, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. That
And it's
makes
like,
sense.
yeah, if you're in the lobby of the convention center, like there's that's where all the big gatherings come from like how crowded it is, and also because like a lot of cosplayers are in there, they're showing off their cosplays, people asking photos, videos, etc., and all that stuff. And it's really massive. It's big, it's huge. I'm not underestimating it. You shouldn't underestimate this con. I will tell you that right now. I'm not gonna say it's the greatest con ever, but no, it's something like it's flawed. It has its moments, but overall, I had a great time.
Mm-hmm. On a scale of 1 to 10, what would you rate it?
I'd probably rate it like, I'd say like 7.5, 8, around there, because because I know what didn't help. It was really sunny over there, but it wasn't like 100 degrees weather like here in Texas. Over there, it was like 80, 83 degrees, but it was like no clouds in sight. So a lot of people, because of obviously because of crowding and also because of the law of the building code, to wait in line at some of the panels, they would have a section outside of the convention center where you would have to wait in line, and then once it's ready to bring people inside the panel room, they would escort everybody to that line to the line inside. So you would have to wait like a couple hours and all that stuff, and also some of the convention, some of the booths at the exhibit hall, they tend to get a little packed too, or they kind of lose. They run out of stuff that you want to get. Like for example, like hey, you want to get this free thing? It's like okay, like oh, unfortunately, it doesn't supplies don't last. So one big example, Hot Topic. Hot Topic this year they had like this little booth and they had like exclusive stuff. Obviously, the big one for the one that stood out to me was the Funko 2-pack, which was Goku and Krillin. And I try to go in there. They're like, oh, well, unfortunately, you can't come in unless you have a wristband. We give them out in the morning. I'm like, bro, the line is fucking packed in the morning. How the fuck would I get one? Like, well, sorry. And I'm like, can I at least go in? Like, no, it's almost closing. Can I at least go in? They're like, some of them get a little pretty strict about it, which kind of sucks, honestly. And then, obviously, like every convention every year, there's always people outside, the church, the Jesus people. And then there's the people who be like, oh,
the Jesus people.
Yeah, the Jesus people, the protesters, and all that stuff. And then you see all our favorite friends, the people who are the vendors outside with their portable grills, and they got the hot dogs, and they would just be chanting hot dog, hot dog, hot dog, hot dog, hot dog, $8, hot dog, $8. They're like the birds from Finding Nemo. Instead of mine, they say hot dog or churros.
$8 for a fucking hot dog.
Yeah, last year was $11 this year. I'm like, fuck you, no way, bro. I'd rather go to this. I'll go to the 7-Eleven across the street.
Yeah,
That's $1.
I'll just starve.
yeah, but like I said, I enjoyed it this year. Could have been better. I know next year is probably gonna be packed again. So every year we're gonna hear it. So don't be surprised.
Yeah, that makes sense. So Keyblade Sonic's official score, I guess 7.5,
7.5, 8, around that range. Yeah.
Okay.
High as I can go is an 8.
We'll go with 8. Remember, opinions are based on the opinion. I'm sorry. The scores are based on the reviewers' opinions. Remember, all reviews are subject to everybody has a different experience with the cons. So if I went and saw Oppenheimer and gave it a fucking 3, and Eric saw it and gave it like an 11 out of 10 because he's full of shit. That's just his opinion. That's my opinion.
Yeah, but yeah, and even some people, they go to convention like, oh, I gotta go to this one panel or get this autograph, and then when they don't get the autograph, they're like, oh, this con sucks, 0 out of 10. I'm like, okay,
yeah, for real. There was one person who went to a con and they were like bitching, like, oh no, there were no room parties, there were no parties. I'm like, that has nothing to do with the fucking
yeah, that's
con.
not the con's control. That's the person who's running the party.
I'm sorry that the con didn't allow anyone to go in there and trash the hotel while they were there.
Yeah.
That's not the con's fault. That's your fault. If there were no parties, then why didn't you throw your own party? Lead by example. Trash your own room.
Trash your own room.
That's
Fun
right.
fact, I didn't even know room parties were a thing until WeebCon this year. I did not know people did that.
That's because you're a good noodle. You're the queen. You have to you have to win all the awards so people can acknowledge you. You don't need to be hanging out with the heathens. We are heathens.
No.
But
I almost won at WeebCon, but I was exhausted because it was after the contest.
I'm so pissed because Delta HCon, somebody stole money out of my wallet. And, look, they stole a bunch of money. They stole $500 on my wallet. But the worst of it, somebody ate my fucking pizza. I was starving. That's some bullshit. Whoever did that, you're an asshole.
What pizza was it from?
It was Papa John's. It was like a Supreme, dude.
Yeah. Whoever did that. Oh, yeah, it's like the ones you got at Anime Texas last year.
Yeah, we always buy food for everybody, but somebody they hid mine. because I hadn't eaten the whole day because I was at BalCon.
Right.
I was literally in Captain Mexico for like 8 hours. I was in that cosplay. That cosplay is only meant to be in it for like an hour or two.
Yeah. But being in it all day is just
Like, dude,
terrible.
I sweated. I was sweating so much. I looked like I pissed myself.
Hmm. Oh,
Like,
I saw how you, yeah, I saw the photos how you looked in was it Compalooza? Like there was like a lot of
sweat.
um,
Yeah.
yeah.
No.
Take the same approach as Bender from Futurama. Start your own room party with blackjack and freelance workers.
Hookers. Just say it. You're
Yeah.
allowed to say it once. You
Eh,
can't say. You can't. Okay. So there are rules for YouTube. You can't say the bad word. They say grape instead. They say grape. You can't say the other word. Can't say the word. You can't. There are certain words you can't say. Too much. You can say them once. If you say them too much, though, then they start like flagging you.
mhm.
But you can't like for the hub instead of saying, because I always say it I always try to say it at the end. I try not to say it in the beginning.
Yeah.
That's part of our joke. So if you're gonna say it, say corn, or grape, or what is it, like the other, like freelance sex worker. Like, YouTube is so stupid.
Yeah, they
They're,
get really
they're probably gonna flag me right now for calling them
they're
stupid.
they're they're sensitive as hell, trust me.
They
But
really are.
speaking of Futurama, the new season of Futurama dropped today. Episode 1 dropped today.
Hey, I'll check it out later. So with that being said, I guess
Let's move
Egg
on
is
to
next. Eight. Okay, so what was the name of the con? It was called 8-bit.
8-bit block party.
8-bit. See, that sounds
the
cool.
8-bit.
I don't know why, but it sounds like a Lego. I know it's not Lego. I know it's like NES
Mm-hmm.
or anything that was an 8-bit console, but it kind of sounds like a Lego con.
A BrickCon.
A brick con.
Kind of.
I would like to
So
go to a
it
brick con. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
it was the con's first year. So everything needs to be taken in context of this is the first year they've done it. This was also the first con that I've been a guest at, and I was also the judge for the cosplay contest. And one of y'all yelled, "It's the Queen!" as I was walking up on stage. And I don't know
Right.
who you are. You can
Whoever's
just say
out
hi.
there,
I heard you.
whoever it was, come forward.
And if you're listening, please say that was you in the chat.
Acknowledge her.
Yeah.
They acknowledged you in the audience.
Right? But I mean, I enjoyed it. One of the things that I really, really liked about the con itself was, so it's run by somebody who's been a vendor at cons for like 20 years. So the con owner really, really understands how to take care of the vendors. It wasn't super, super busy. We did have a pretty good turnout for the cosplay contest. Having 13 people your first year is actually pretty good.
Yeah, that's really good.
Because the one that I went to that I got my first one at was only 7 people.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually returning to that one this year as well. I have no idea how many people are there because it like quintupled in size their second year. I guess because they advertise better. But I mean, I had a lot of fun. I've never been a judge or a guest before. I did my panel. And I actually had like 25 people in the room, which I was elated because I didn't expect anybody to actually show up because that happened to me at YumiCon. It was in the New Braunfels Civic Center, which is a nice venue. It's a large venue.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way it was Goku because he was not I don't think he was in the state of Texas.
I was there. No, I was. So I rarely leave Texas. Zelda lives in the DFW area. I live in Houston. It wasn't me though. I was there in spirit. I possessed that person. They were like, "Wait, no, the Queen."
He was there by Zoom.
Right. I don't even want to call it a gripe because I mean it wasn't the con director's fault. So they had to use the back entrance of the convention center to let people in, which funny enough, so what looks like the front door of the venue is actually the back of the building, and what looks like the back of the building is technically zoned as the front of the building because that's where the mailbox is.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
I'm sorry,
So,
I had to laugh a little bit because it reminds me of that year that Anime Matsuri was at the Crown Plaza, the same year as the rodeo, and they were so ashamed of the cosplayers. They could only take the side entrance.
what?
Yeah,
See,
dead ass like
Rodeo Con,
rodeo con.
Cowboy Con.
see, when I went to Kawakan, we were sharing the Henry B with a convention of immunologists, and we went in the front door right next to these doctors. It was hilarious. I actually got stopped for pictures by multiple doctors on my way into the con. It was
Yeah.
It was like
That
that
was-
one
that
year
was
for Comic Palooza. It was like one year they shared with like a robotics convention too.
Oh yeah,
That's amazing.
they had but no, it wasn't the rodeo people. It was the hotel that made that a rule. It was the hotel that made it, and like, which is crazy because the front desk people didn't mind if I went through the front, but like none of the con goers or cosplayers should go through the front. Like they let me because the front desk guy was like Cookie Monster, and I think he thought I was part of the rodeo because it's like you're not anime, you must be for the rodeo. Come on.
Blatant favoritism.
Me
But
go to rodeo. That's right.
That's right. I'm gonna share a story from that, but go ahead, continue.
So 8-bit wasn't super crowded. I know the vendors in the main room did better than where I was in the ballroom, and they even announced that we were in the ballroom. There just wasn't a lot of traffic into the second room. It happens. But the contest was really good. I actually got to hand an award to a friend of mine, which I was excited for. So now that friend of mine has to go to larger conventions to compete in that costume ever again, because I gave him we gave them the best in show. It was in conjunction. So 8-bit Block Party was in conjunction with Heroes and More. Have y'all heard of them before? So
I think so.
Heroes and More is a charity organization that visits children in the hospital dressed as characters. So they They go to visit the kids who are too sick to actually do the Make-A-Wish Foundation. So they bring the characters to them, and I've been meaning to join, but I have like 0 costumes that wouldn't make a child start crying. So I have to make something not terrifying to small children before I actually join.
So I've done that here in Houston, but I don't. It was just like a bunch of cosplayers who got together, and now that you mention, I have heard of them. They're just. I don't think they're in Houston though.
I'm not sure. I don't know how many chapters they have, but I think San Antonio is the big one. But they did the cosplay contest. So like one of the other judges was one of their lead people. They're the ones. If anybody in the audience went to YumiCon, they're the group that brought that Bumblebee Transformer costume. That was them. It is the coolest thing because it's super accurate to the movie, and it's like 8 feet tall. But, and I have to say, you know, the convention chair really did what he could to take care of everybody there. I mean, they walked around with a wagon full of snacks and drinks for us. I didn't get paid because it was a really small convention, but I did get like a goodie bag of stuff, which was really cool. I actually got a strawberry cup, like it's shaped like a strawberry, and I've been wanting one for ages now. And I have been drinking liquids out of nothing else, just this cup since last week. I've been washing it, but I'm currently obsessed with the cup.
It's got mold.
No.
It's like a strawberry.
It's like a strawberry.
They actually had, well, technically 3 cosplay guests, including me. But they actually did. We did talk to the chair afterward about some stuff for next year. So I think they're going to be a longer, because they were a 2-day. I think they're going to be in the same venue. But I mean, overall, I had fun. It's just not being able to use the front set of doors, well, what people think is the front, really hurt, because we saw people coming up to the doors and thinking there was actually nothing going on. And so one of the vendors like moved their table into that lobby area. And unfortunately, they could also only, they also had a lot of people, from what I know, bail on them, which was not the con's fault. We were
Like,
supposed to have a maid cafe.
like bail,
And-
like panelist bail, like no shows, stuff like that.
So the panelists didn't bail. Nana Cosplay, who was supposed to be the judge instead of me, had to have surgery. I hope she's doing okay. I'm very worried for her. And we were supposed to have a maid cafe, and they bailed last minute. There's supposed to be a bunch of other stuff going on because there wasn't a lot to do other than go through the dealers' booths. I mean, they had DJ Archon out and everything, but I mean, Ken's 5, the news station, actually interviewed the 2 other cosplay guests that were there, and so we were like live on the news for like 15 minutes, which was cool. But I mean, I had a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. I will be back next year as a guest. And I can definitely say, like, there was no like drama or anything like that, which was great because I know that happens a lot. Like, and the guy who runs it is really, really, really nice, and he was really receptive as well to advice. And I expect that next year it's going to be a lot bigger, which is really, really fun. I don't know what date it's going to be next year, but we shall see.
Send me the dates once you get them.
I will.
Okay.
Sounds cool.
Definitely try. So, based on your perspective, what do you think of the con this year?
In the context that it was the very first year that this con has been a thing, I'd honestly give it a 7.5.
Okay. That's
I mean,
not
the
bad.
best part is there was no line.
That's
There
a
was
plus.
no line for anything. And they had
No
the air
line.
conditioner running, which is great.
I love how people will wait in a line. Like, people are like, we need to go stand in line for, like, this is not big cons, this is like tiny cons. Like, it's a small con, and like, we need to go wait in line right now for the rave. And I see the line, I'm like, dude, let's just wait like 20 minutes. We can just walk right in. Like, do we have to be there when it just starts?
Yeah.
Like, I don't do lines. If the line looks like shit, you know what? I don't need it.
I always arrive to stuff early, so
I am naturally late to everything.
Speaking of lines, actually, funny story about that. And when I was in California, like outside of Anime Expo, I was at Disneyland. I decided to hit up Disneyland. We were waiting in line for like this. They were like, because they just had like this light show, or whatever, this fireworks show, like at night. It was like around like 9 o'clock or something like that. After the show, you know, you just got to do whatever you want till midnight. We decided just like, oh, they got that line, that long, that big ride or whatever. It wasn't Space Mountain. It was like some bobsled, like magic in the mountain or something like that. We were waiting for like 20 minutes. We're like, okay, just letting you know, if you're gonna wait in line here, it's not guaranteed to be coming up. So just letting you know. I'm like, yeah, no worries. And then we were waiting for like 20 minutes, and it was like, oh yeah, it's open now. You guys come in. I'm like, all right, sweet.
Sweet.
And then yeah, like the line was so short, and then like after the ride, we were like, hey, let's go back again.
that happened to me at Harry Potter World. I figured out very quickly that they inflate the wait times on their signs.
Yeah.
So for their rides. So for the Hogwarts, which, fun fact, one of my relatives, he's an uncle on my mom's side, actually helped build the Hogwarts castle that's at the Universal Studios Park in Orlando. He's an architect, and he was there for the design process, the design phase, and the actual building of it. So I can brag on that for no reason. I just think it's cool.
No, that's
Do it.
awesome.
Do
Yeah.
it.
And
Brag.
yeah, when you bring up inflation of yeah, it's true because I wrote
Yeah,
the after going to the Nintendo World thing, we went to the Transformers right next door, and they said, oh, wait time is like 30 minutes. We were there, we only waited for like 5 minutes.
Oh yeah, like I think every single ride in the Harry Potter World stated like over an hour for the wait, and I think I waited the longest, maybe 30 minutes, and that was for the Hogwarts ride, and that one is always super, super, super busy. But they also load like 8 people onto a car at the same time, which is great.
Okay.
I almost had to ride that one without my glasses on because I thought my glasses were going to fall off mid-ride. And so I literally almost went in blind. And I actually got it even faster because the group that was in front of me, some of their kids tried to jump the line and the whole family got escorted out. Yeah, don't jump the line in those parks. They will actually kick you out. And
Yeah, they don't mess around with that.
Yeah, I think I had extra fun there because I'm a redhead, and if you are a redhead and you go to Harry Potter World and you're wearing a Gryffindor robe, they will call you a Weasley. And it is hilarious.
Wingardium Leviosa.
It's Leviosa, not Leviosa.
Leviosa. Oh. You know where that's from.
Man, y'all doing accents. I barely speak English as it is. I mean, I've never been to the I used to go. The only theme park I've ever been to is the Six Flags that was here in Houston at one point. Now gone.
Astroworld.
Astroworld. I've been to Fiesta, Texas, and San Antonio, and I forget what the one in Dallas is called.
Over Texas.
Over Texas. Fiesta, Texas, over Texas, and then Astroworld. I miss Astroworld.
I think we all do.
I remember going to Fiesta, Texas, and riding the Rattler when it was still made of wood.
Oh yeah, then they
that
upgraded
felt
to
so dangerous.
Yeah, then they upgraded
The
it
whole
in
thing
Fiesta,
shakes.
Texas.
Yeah,
It's the Iron Rattler now. Wasn't it like the last wooden roller coaster in the country?
Yeah, until they.
Probably in the world.
It honestly might have been. But let me tell you, that whole ride shook back and forth when you went on. I'm like, am I gonna die?
Somebody probably fell off. All right, time to replace it.
Final Destination stuff.
Nah, they'd been planning to fix the structure for a couple of years.
Planning. Oh, it's in the works. We're working on it.
Yeah, we're working on it.
Eventually. We'll get to it when the money's right. So, before we talk about the next con, our final con, I want to acknowledge something real quick.
Okay.
Why does Michelangelo look like he have rabies?
Why is it the way his mouth is open?
Look at his face. It looks like he's got rabies.
I mean,
he looked like he ate like fucking. He felt like he ate like having a sugar rush. You know what I mean?
Yeah, hopefully the movie's not trash. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I take that back. So one of the I said earlier that there aren't that many movies this year that have come out that are that memorable. I take that back. Spider-Man into Miles Morales 2 was great. I loved it. I was kind of pissed at the way it ended, but you know what? That's neither here nor there. Actually, it's been more than 2 weeks. I hate the fact that it ended with a spoiler alert, by the way. So ended with a to be continued. So fuck. It's like buying DLC. I was like, this is some bullshit.
Why is everything a trilogy nowadays?
Money.
Yeah, that is your answer.
That's fair. That's fair.
Money.
Yeah, the only movie, quote unquote, that I've seen this year, unless you count Jujutsu Kaisen 0, but I watched that on a streaming platform, so I guess it doesn't count, was the Demon Slayer one. And you
mean the one where they show like they basically just show 3 episodes and they call that a day?
Yeah, I went dressed as Doma.
Yeah,
and made multiple people uncomfortable when Doma came on screen. It was hilarious.
Yeah, that show was honestly that was a waste. I'm like, man, you're just better off just waiting until the episodes air on streaming. And I'm like, yeah.
I mean, it was really fun seeing that end of the Gyutaro versus Tengen fight on a big screen with that kind of surround sound. That was fun. It was very hype. And then getting to hear the Infinity Castle, the Upper Moon meeting in a theater, it's a very different experience than just watching it with headphones because it just sounds better.
I haven't seen it. I haven't even seen the anime.
Yeah, and then I know the Mario movie that came out too. That was
that one was great. I bought that one on Blu-ray. So here's some financial tips, guys. If you're gonna buy a movie digitally, buy it physically on Blu-ray because you get the DVD, the Blu-ray, and the digital code.
Mm-hmm.
And you can link all of your accounts to Movies Anywhere. It'll link Xbox, I think Sony, Amazon, Vudu. It links a bunch of accounts, all into Movies Anywhere, and you can access all of your digital movies through several apps, not just one. So a lot of my old movies, like all of my Vudu movies, I can access them through my Amazon account. But I buy physical. I bought Super Mario physical. I'm gonna buy Spider-Man physical, so I can get the 3. And it's like on Blu-ray, it's like you can go to Walmart and get it for like $25, and the digital, just for the digital. Like, oh well, I mean, I can just buy it digitally, yeah, but it's $20 digitally, and for $25 you can get it on Blu-ray, DVD, and digital. So for $5 extra, you can get the physical copy.
Okay. Actually works, actually. Because it's like, so many times, people just wait until it hits the stream. And also what sucks is, like, lately there's been a lot of, like, debates about, like, oh, physical versus, digital media and all that stuff. And then recently, speaking of, like, streaming and all that stuff, there was a report that came out that Ubisoft, they announced that, like, oh, if you haven't been active in 30 days, we'll delete your account. So basically, all the games that you bought, you can't play them anymore. And it's like the most ridiculous thing. And it's like, are you effing serious? Like,
don't know why they woke up and chose violence, but they did.
Yeah, it's so insane. Like, it's at the point I'm like, dude, you know what? If that's the case, fuck it. I'm so glad. I don't buy many Ubisoft games. I can tell you the last Ubisoft game I bought was Mario and Rabbids. And I can tell you, I'm kind of glad I got that physically, because it was digitally and I was in that situation. I'm like, oh, you fucking serious? Basically, $60 would go down the drain.
Her face is twitching. Fucking dicks. Fucking assholes. Pieces of I'm gonna shit on your lawn, Ubisoft. I hate it when people do that shit. I really don't like digital. On my Switch, I like digital, but I'm trying to buy physical copies. On my PS5, like, a game would have to be like practically $5 for me to buy. Like, during the PlayStation sales, when the games are like dirt ass cheap, I will buy them digitally, but I like to buy them physically. So last con, Anime Texas. So, let's just put it out there. I had fun at the con.
Okay.
Friday was really slow. Really slow. There were some things that so they ran karaoke. We didn't run karaoke. They ran it, even though, like, whatever. I'm not gonna get into that. I like some things that they did to the way they ran it that I'm going to steal to make ours better, but at the same time, like, I'm kind of pissed because, like, a lot of people signed up for multiple songs. So the way they did it is, like, if you sign up for multiple songs, you sang first, and they would put you further down the list so other people can go first. But, like, I went on the stage multiple times because other people signed up, and they're like, hey, we want Mexico to come on stage with us. And so every time I went on stage with somebody else, they would move me further down the list, and that shit pissed me off. I'm like, these aren't my fucking songs. This is not what I signed up for. Like, and they kept, like, by the time I got to sing my second chosen song, there was like 5 people left in the panel, and, like, it was already, like, close to ending, and I was already, like, it was already, like, buzzed. So, like, I was so pissed. But, like, I like the way they did. I like some of the things they did. Like, they did a Google form. They put a QR code on a screen, and you would, like, scan it with your phone, and it had, like, a Google form. And we used those for work. We used those for work, and I didn't think of to use. I've never thought to use that.
That sounds pretty smart.
It was really smart. So I'm gonna steal that shit from them. The way they had it set up, it was kind of like a bar. It was really focused on more of the drinking aspect, and, like, the people were just kind of like, until, like, I started, like they had, like, a little stage set up, and, like, I went on there, whoa, started, like, cheering for, like, people started doing it, but, like, everybody was, like, it was interesting. The con was very small. It was definitely, like, they didn't have, like, a lack of content as far as panels. They had a lot of panels, a lot of really good panels. Definitely, like, there was no lack of communication between the staff. There weren't a lot of no-shows. Like, The con was really slow, but that's
Yeah.
not the con's fault, so I can't fault them for not having a big attendance.
Mhm.
So, but the lack of actual panels, like actually entertaining panels, was better. The guests were better. They had some good, like the vendors and Artist Alley were once again combined, but it was, like I said, tiny con. The fucking hotel, fuck the hotel. They kept my fucking deposit, so fuck them.
I was gonna ask about like the venue this year compared to last year.
It was so if it so the hotel was heavily discounted for the con. Like it's one of those. It's near the Galleria, so it's going to be an expensive out of your ass con. The parking is literally 30 days a night, but with the con it's 15 days because they gave you a discount. Uh, Still kind of expensive for a lot of con goers. Overall, and they had they had something cool called, it was like an improv tavern. It was like a show. It was really cool,
Mhm.
and like the chick that was in charge of, like, she wasn't a waitress, but she was kind of like not a server, but I don't know how to describe her, but she was talking with an accent, and she's like, "Oh, we have a comedian here." I'm like, "Damn right," and I'm sitting there eating like, it's not tortillas, but they look like tortilla chips, and they like had hummus and like
Okay.
water, and I'm sitting there eating it. I'm like, "We supposed to eat this? We supposed to eat this, right? Right? No, this isn't part of the show." And I'm over there like chewing on it as I'm like asking that stupid question. We're supposed to eat this, right? This is for everybody. And I'm like, "Oh man, this is some great white people food. Oh, y'all are killing it." So I'm making jokes the entire time, and like she makes a remark as me being a comedian, like, "Damn right." The dude that's the host of the show, in the dark, like, 'cause it wasn't dark, but it was like lightly lit. It was like kind of dark. The guy looked just like Matt Murdock from the
Daredevil.
MCU. Yeah, like he looked just like him. I think that's who he was cosplaying, because he recognized me as Captain Mexico, despite the fact that I was not in cosplay at all, because I went and took a bath because I was sweating. But I had fun Saturday. I had a lot of fun Saturday. Uh, I instantly regret, like, the Galleria was like a 15-minute walk. We walked, got food, walked back, and I instantly regretted that decision. It was so
How's
hot. As soon as we got back, I got sick.
uh
Like, I wanted to throw up because it rained, and so the humidity was just like awful. And I
yeah
have long hair.
that made it worse basically.
I have like my hair is not just long; it's like thick,
Mhm.
and I didn't have a hair tie, so it was worse. Like right now, I have the man bun. I'm like a damn pineapple, but it was just so, like, I liked it. I had fun. I think there was another convention that weekend. Uh,
Was there? I'm trying to remember.
so like you could feel like Delta HCon and BotCon definitely affected that con, the attendance, because there were a lot of people that were at this con that I didn't see at Delta or BotCon, and a lot of people that went to the BotCon and Delta could not go to Anime Texas because
Yeah.
financial
Some
reasons.
Yeah, financial reasons. Some of them had like they couldn't get off day requests, they couldn't get this. Different factors obviously.
So our buddy, I don't know if you remember, I don't know if we talked about this, but the Pokemon cosplayer, the one that I was like fucking talking about, the one that we heard shit about, but we didn't say anything about because
Mhm.
we didn't have any details.
Mhm.
Like, we don't have we don't actually have, like, so I talked to Blastoise, so he cleared some stuff up. But this person showed up to my Pokemon versus Digimon panel. It was funny because they showed up to my panel, they sit down, and they left like 3 minutes later because they found out we were talking shit about Pokemon. You know what? Pokemon is the stupidest fucking thing in the world. It's cockfighting for
Which is the
kids.
point. Which is the point of the. It's not
Right, it's
just
the whole
not just.
point of the panel.
I mean, it's not just shitting on Pokemon. Obviously, we shit on Digimon too. And it's
Like,
like,
well, yeah, Digimon's better. I'm like, Digimon can't talk. You put a magnet next to one of them, and they're down for the count. It was definitely funny. And there was a lot of interesting stuff. But honestly, I give it a 7.5 out of 10. Uh, Definitely the hotel, the location just sucks. Honestly, it's near the Galleria. Traffic was horrible.
especially on Saturdays.
The hotel was just like tiny. There was one elevator between the two, so you had to take the big old like. There was 2 floors, but the distance between the two was a 3 floor. Like it skipped 1 floor and it went straight to a third. So if you took the stairs, like that's you're climbing 3 floors, and a lot of cosplayers aren't going to take the stairs, so they took the elevator.
Yeah.
I took the stairs. My fat ass took the stairs, and like I had fun. But let me put it like this: so I'm not a cosplay contest person. Like that's eggs. Like egg. I love egg because eggs is always doing the cosplay contest, and she wins mostly wins a lot of them, and that's like what makes her special, right? Me, I can't do that shit. I can't fucking do it because I'm fucking miserable. Because you're not supposed to go anywhere for like a couple hours, and I don't like being told what to do. Like, I signed up for the cosplay contest because I didn't have shit to do. Like, there was nothing to do. Like, if I have to enter the cosplay contest as a way for me to entertain myself during the con, and it's not like, yeah, the con had panels, like really good panels, but they weren't my type of panels. If that makes sense. And I don't really like going to other panels anyway. But I attended Capella's panel. You know, she was on the show. Pixie, and like she was talking about VTubers. I didn't know what the hell a VTuber was.
Anime
I didn't know what they were, and so I attended her panel. And now I'm like, oh, okay, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So not my thing, but I actually attended other people's panels for the first time, and there were some interesting, informative ones, and then there were some really. They had an escape room. Now that was kind of cool.
Okay.
They had the same group come back and do the escape room, but I feel like last year's Anime Texas was much bigger, but the location was much more expensive. This one was much smaller, but the location was much more affordable because of the deal they made.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly think that Anime Texas should do the Anime Houston approach and steal the location that Delta HCon is also Delta HCon is using right now.
Okay, so the Marriott on West Chase.
Yeah, because that's what Anime Houston's doing this year. They're doing it at the I didn't even realize the restream thing was the logo was up the entire time, and not our bear. There he is. There he is.
But yeah, like you said, you know, it's kind of like there's so many parts where it's like, okay, they're getting what they're paid for. You know what I mean? Like you're gonna get a small one because based on how much you're paying.
Right. So like I had to leave Sunday, so hopefully my Zeros to Heroes ran my panel. So the way they run panels and the way I run panels are different. So we kind of clash a lot, but overall, like I had fun. Saturday, Friday was just kind of bleh. But I still had fun regardless. But I had fun Saturday despite the fact that I had to leave early.
Yeah.
I do recommend Anime Texas, but because BotCon and Delta HCon were literally
a week earlier.
Not, you could say a week apart, but literally it was only 5 days because they ended on Sunday and this one started on a Friday. So you literally only had a 4-day break. So this is like getting to the point where it's too fucking much for the community. I don't know if I understand that people want to start their own cons because they're sick of like A-Con's bullshit. They're sick of Anime Matsuru's bullshit. They're sick of like the bullshit with other cons whose names I'm not going to say. Maybe they're sick of Anime Midwest because of the fucking allegations. Fuck, that's a whole different.
Just a lot of different factors.
Yeah, I was about to say like the bullshit that goes on there. Like different allegations, whatever the fuck, different rumors, drama, all kinds of crap that people are spreading, like without context. Like people will hear thing and they'll take it out of context, or they'll just start saying shit with no proof.
Yeah.
But like, I understand people want to start their own conventions that are much friendlier, like a Safe Haven. Which, by the way, there's a fucking convention called It's called Haven Con.
Mhm.
There's a con called DreamCon, Haven Con.
Yeah, DreamCon is this weekend, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And that's another thing. We have Etchy Fiesta
Mhm.
and DreamCon this weekend, and then 2 or 3 weeks from there we have Colossal Con, and who knows what else con.
Yeah.
Then in September, and Anime Matsuri is next month. Not only that, in September you have Colossal Con, and you have San Japan.
Mm-hmm. A
And
lot's going on.
These are the only ones I can think of off the top of my head. Then October you have the arcade and pinball one in Houston.
Yeah, and then
You have
Onicon.
Onicon's in November.
November, okay. And then not only in November, Onicon, also that Collecticon.
Mm-hmm. Collecticon, Onicon, Anime Dallas. Yes, Anime North is in November, I think. I'm not sure it's in October or November. I'm not exactly sure. Anime Austin, right. So that's another one.
Yeah, so many of these cons, man.
And you have people that are going to the Texas Renaissance Festival.
Renfest, yep. And then also not just that, a lot of people are traveling for holidays, for Thanksgiving and all that stuff. And then also Colossal Con in Wisconsin, the North one.
Turkey ain't cheap.
Turkey
you
is
gotta
not
buy
cheap.
a turkey, you gotta stuff its ass with food, and then throw it in the oven.
This is the way you said that.
I mean,
stuff
I'm not wrong.
No, you're not, but it's just the way you said it, and then the picture in my brain, you doing it, is just really funny.
Bro, shut up.
Stuff the turkey up its ass. And
gotta wear it like a hat.
Yeah, then also Black Friday, because people still fucking do
I gotta
shit.
go to Ren Fair and spend $15 on a turkey leg that's mostly tendons and shit.
Yeah.
Like, and then, not to mention, you got the holidays coming up. The holidays ain't cheap, especially if you got kids. Kids are expensive.
Kids are very pricey. And then also, because not just that in December, also Anime Frontier, that's in December. Early December.
I just bought Zelda Switch.
Sounds funny. How
fitting. Isn't IkiCon coming up shortly after that?
Isn't January? Yeah. Is it in January?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be in January. Yeah, that's.
And not to mention, we might have another end of the year con. I don't know if waifu. Not only that, I got invited to go to Oklahoma.
That's cool.
Nice.
So.
That's and then also in February, like a lot of people we know, especially here in Texas, they're going to KatsuCon in February. Oh yeah, and then Holiday Matsuri in December in Orlando. Yeah. Hallmat.
So like the whole going national, that's actually starting. It's supposed to start this year, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. We're not ruling. We're just teasing it right now. We're in the building stage phase.
Well, they said that if I can get my ass out there, they'll pay for my gas. But I'm like, I'm not gonna fucking walk.
Oh, unless you bring a crew,
Asia's not gonna want to go that far, and Canon and 17 don't drive. As a matter of fact, they call me in the con community. I'm known as Mexico. In our group, I'm known as the chauffeur.
You, in a way, you guys like are represent, Canada, Mexico, and then you have other ones from different countries. The League of Geeks.
the League of Heathens is more like it because we're all degenerates. We're International Degeneration X.
There you
go. So like honestly, it's a lot, guys, and I can't keep up. And like there are, like people don't know this, but some of the panelist groups do talk.
Mm-hmm.
So like there are a lot of panelist groups that are very much aware of who I am. And I am very much aware of who they are. And we don't really I've never badmouthed them because I'm very open about who I am and how I feel. Like, hey, like, look, I have nothing bad to say about your panel. Your panel's just not what I'm like. If you do stuff that it's just like, I'm not really interested. So I'm not going to I don't really go to other people's panels because I'm an entertainer. I just go up there and talk shit and make people laugh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's not just that because like a lot of panel is, it's okay. So my take on the reason some of the panels I don't go to is one, it's probably because I have another commitment, like for example, like a photo shoot or a meetup or something like that. It's just scheduling. Two, it's some of them have topics that are like, okay, it's stop if you heard this before, you know what I mean?
The
And I
spicy Pokemon one,
yeah, no,
Blastoise was there. Blastoise. And Blastoise shared some shit with me. I was told one thing about that panel. Blastoise cleared up what was actually talked about in that panel.
yeah.
Still, I'm going to throw up.
Oh my god. But then also too, it's like sometimes you have to like in a panel, like for example, like say you bring up like the biggest, like your main topics in like the first 10 minutes. Okay, what are you gonna do for the next 50? Like, do you have anything else? I mean, you already covered everything in the first 10 minutes, and you have like an hour panel. What are you gonna do for the next 50 minutes? Are you gonna like do a Q&A? Are you gonna improv? Or what?
Oh,
Like,
yeah, no, I agree with you. There are some panelists that have, like, just to add on to what you're saying, Pixie, like, she's working on her panel skills. She has an entire PowerPoint, but she powered through that shit in like 30 minutes.
yeah.
And so she was taking questions the rest of the panel, which actually worked out in her favor. Because, like, I was like, what the fuck is a VTuber?
Yeah, because there's a lot, and also which sometimes it actually helps, if you have like a Q&A in the end, or it's like, oh yeah, we could do an improvised question and answer, because sometimes those questions could actually, they could actually like take up a lot of time, because sometimes you would have to answer questions that you weren't expecting, or you can get questions from like people that are like, okay, well, all right, I can answer this one, but maybe if I can give a detail or something like that. For example, like sometimes whenever you get asked a question, like, "Oh, how'd you do this and how'd you do that?" Like, "Oh, well, I did this." So funny story, and then you could like, make a story and like talk about it, because sometimes the story can be interesting than the actual panel. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
Uh,
was, like, somebody asked me, like, oh, so how, like, why'd you start cosplaying Mexico? Like, what made you start
what's the
cosplaying
origins?
Mexico? So one day, I didn't have a cosplay, so I put on an orange poncho and a sombrero, and it just
It just
stuck.
clicked.
It just clicked. People started calling me Mexico, Mexico. It's like, fuck it,
Mexican.
fuck it. So I started wearing a poncho, and then eventually the poncho evolved, and then like I added the Captain America shield with the Mexican flag over it, and then I started adding like bits and pieces, and then that evolved into Captain Mexico. Like it went from just a poncho and sombrero with some extra parts to it to an actual like armored cosplay,
Yeah.
which by the way is actual tactical armor, which is supposed to protect me in case somebody decides they want to be a racist ass and attack me. Uh, so there have been people that punched me in the cosplay. Like it has the slots in it for the bulletproof plating. I don't wear the bulletproof plating at cons. I wear it to the rent fair.
Hmm.
That's kind of sad, actually. Now that every time I say that out loud, I die a little inside.
And then Canada says Oppenheimer is the greatest 3 hours of cinema of all time.
No, he fell asleep too. He was bitching about how his ass hurt and how fucking upset he was. Like he said that like it was funny. So Egg, have you ever hosted a cosplay?
What?
Have you ever hosted a? I mean, sorry, cosplay. I'm sorry,
A
panel.
panel.
I'm
Yeah,
just
I do.
sorry.
I do have a panel.
What do you host?
So I do a. I think it falls under the category of question and answer, but it's
Oh.
on how to cosplay on a budget.
Oh, budget cosplaying budget.
Yeah.
Steal, steal the materials. No, don't do that. Don't listen to me. Stop. Here the cops are here. Nah, don't steal. That's bad. Don't do that.
Yeah, I
You
usually have time for about 20 minutes of questions when I'm finished. Although I do let people ask questions while I'm doing the presentation. I need to add some stuff to it. Like there's a page on glue that I need to add. I need to add some footnotes on foam to it.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it's pretty much. And then I have this long, well, not long, but somewhat lengthy rant on why buying some costumes is just stupid. And
Okay.
so like the school uniform costumes.
Oh yeah, like the
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
They actually sell most of those are based off real uniforms, which you can buy. And buying the real uniform, while more expensive, is going to be a better quality item. made out of a better fabric. I mean, those uniforms have to last a couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
And I also point like Chainsaw Man cosplays. If you go on Amazon, look at Chainsaw Man cosplay, they actually have the shirt and pants, and I'm like, why would you do that?
I was about to ask, isn't it just like a white collared shirt and some dress pants?
Yeah, it's straight up basic business.
You can get stuff like that like at like thrift stores and all that, for like a third of that price.
Is it like when they were selling L cosplays and it's just a white long shirt and some fucking jeans?
Yeah.
And I'm like, just buy the actual article of clothing. I would argue most people should have at least one pair of black dress pants for like job interviews and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's a basic staple of most people's wardrobe.
Sometimes. I showed up to my job interview once in a hoodie and I got the job.
Man, if only it was easier today.
No, like, you know what it is? Like, when you go to a job interview, it's about confidence.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I was like, I could sell ice to an Eskimo. They actually liked the interview with me, and so they're like, you know what? You're not dressed for an interview, but we're still going to give you the job anyway. I just know how to talk to them. But yeah, I agree. People should have dress pants. I have a pair of dress pants because reasons.
I actually have a full-on tuxedo.
I will not wear it. I will wear a tuxedo shirt. It says that I'm formal, but I'm here to party.
I wore. I don't know why I recently just thought of that. I'm here for the party. I wore something like that to. It's kind of political related, but it's like I wore a shirt like that, and to a voting booth, they wouldn't let me wear it. They're like, "No, you can't have that shirt." And I was like, "Why?" Because it's political. It's like, "What?" It just says I'm here for the party.
Right? That's awesome. Like, I wore one. I got in trouble for it too. I put it was like, "Calm down, gringo. I'm legal. I can vote."
Oh, is that something like?
Yeah.
It's like the shirts you see like at like on Amazon and also like on Spencer's or something.
Like the one we were talking about, like the one we thought they were going to take down because of what it spelled out.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it spells out cunt.
Why did you say it?
Sorry.
Demonetized. Oh, it's not like we were getting any money, is it? As a matter of fact, YouTube sends me an invoice. Right here the fee for the penalties. Will that be cash or card?
Sure beats TikTok.
So, I mean, overall, like, cosplay is great. I love cosplay, but with cosplaying, that I guess I might as well say it now. So my Captain Mexico overall has about maybe one more year left in it, and I'm gonna just retire it at that point because I can't keep wearing it.
Are you looking to make like a slimmer version of it, like a easier to one, or just?
I'm just not gonna. That's it. I'm gonna do other. There's another cosplay that I'm gonna start working. That I'm gonna focus on. That I'm gonna wear for a while. Some of y'all know exactly what it is.
Megazord. Speaking of, this coming few weeks, 30 years of Mighty Morphin.
That's right. So we're going to talk about it at the end. We are going to say something towards the end, but so with convention season in full swing, like it's here. We can't stop it. No matter how much I bitch and complain, these cons are going to happen.
Yeah.
Just might as well go with the flow. You can't go to every con. It's okay. It's okay not to go to every con.
Yeah, I mean, sure, you'll develop FOMO and all that stuff, but at the end of the day, you have to put priorities of what you really do. Like finances, medical health reasons. You know what I mean? Like different factors.
Right. So, I mean, if your leg is dangling and you need to go to the hospital, go to the hospital. Don't save up for that con. Like, because some things are more important. With that being said, though, we are going to introduce new panels. Mental health awareness panels. Being safe at a convention panel. Definitely, we're going to introduce Pokemon panels that talk shit about Pokemon. We're also introducing a brand new panel called "Do Anime Fans secretly hate anime? The answer is yes.
Me.
Oh, trust me, when we did Dragon Ball versus My Hero, it went on a rant about how there are a lot of like disgusting ass anime.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
And so like that's what inspired that idea. Like do anime it's either going to be do anime fans hate anime fans or do anime fans hate anime. See, we're going to add secretly to the name.
Or can we put anime fans versus anime?
It just sounds like it sounds like a comedy panel rather than an actual discussion.
Oh, unless you put like the description what it's not a comedy thing. You
I
just,
mean, I would like to do an anime wars panel, kind of like the waifu one, but with
yeah.
anime.
Or do a
And not
waifu,
waifu.
anime tier list.
I'm afraid to do a waifu panel, and then somebody brings up Vaporeon, and then I throw them out.
It's like out.
No, I am very like people are like we don't kink shame here. We do when it comes to pets.
Wouldn't it be hilarious? Say it's gonna be a waifu tier list panel, but don't put any female characters. Just all dudes. Just as a joke. It'd be
Waifu.
hilarious.
Here are my
Oh,
top
joke.
10 waifus. First one, deodorants. Mm.
Second one, Satoru Gojo.
Third one, Chef Boyardee because he feeds me. Like not even include anime characters, just include
Random stuff.
dudes, random people.
Mr. Clean.
Tony the Tiger because his cereal's great.
It's great.
Right?
But the Kool-Aid Man, because oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Can you imagine the chaos if we collabed on a panel?
That would be interesting.
Eggs 5 ever.
That way we could acknowledge the queen in person.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a thing we're gonna do at every con. I hope you realize that.
As soon as you walk in, we just like all raise a one.
In 1 year, you're gonna like when you go on stage, everybody's gonna be doing this.
Yeah. No, it's funny when you see wrestling. When you see wrestling stuff like get into like mainstream for anime. It reminded me of a story when like a couple of years ago. It was at Matsuri when it was like respectable. You know what I mean? We went to a there was a Pokemon battle. Someone was doing a live Pokemon battle, and then I think Panda was hosting it too. I don't know if she remembers it, but
was it the only panel I remember her hosting was the Pokemon battles.
Yeah, that's the one.
Oh, okay.
So we were doing. There was a thing. It was like, all right, do you want to see this battle? And they were like, yeah. And she didn't want to do it. She's like, no, we're not gonna. And like we were egging on. We were like, yeah. And then suddenly people were doing the yes, Daniel Bryan's yes thing. They were like, yes, yes. And she's like, no, no. And we were all doing it just to troll with her. And then she's like, all right, fine, we'll do it. And then we were cheering. And then some random guy kept chanting, Daniel Bryan. And I was like, this is awesome. And a Pokemon thing, Daniel Bryan.
So there's a panel. I'm sorry to the individual that hosts this panel. You inspired us to make our own, and we're stealing yours. So we're gonna do like I don't know if you ever seen Wild and Out. We're gonna do a versus roast panel.
Anime and out, weaving out,
and we're gonna do like they did a rock paper scissors tournament at Delta, so we're stealing that.
Yeah. Do a wild and weave. Oh, there you go, wild and weave.
Wild and weave.
Out.
Weave, bob and weave.
Weaving out.
Definitely. So I think we're about out of time. So like I said, 7.5 for Anime Texas. So far, though, our con of the year, as of right now, is still Delta H Con because they really picked up their game this year. They kind of went all out, and it paid off for them in the long run. Like, that con was great. There are a lot of people that had some complaints, but it's not as funny as, like, bro, I'm going to show this. Like, y'all have earned this story. Apparently, so if you stayed in Delta, if you know the layout, they have the lobbies, all the windows to, like half the rooms, right?
Yeah.
There was a couple doing it, and they forgot to close their curtains, so everyone could see it. I don't know if they did that on purpose, or if they just
got the heat of the moment and they just forgot.
yeah. So my friends are like, "What's going?" Like, "Oh snap, they're doing." I'm like, why are y'all watching? There's something. Y'all need Jesus.
And then Jesus is there too.
I do have one question for y'all. Though.
Yes.
So, since we were talking about the con crash, and you mentioned expense being a huge thing, do you think that's going to start prompting more of these free conventions to become more popular? Because there are a
Yes.
bunch of those too.
Yeah, I could see
Right.
that. Like,
The
not
free
just.
conventions will be. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Sonic.
No, you're fine.
But the free conventions will be popular for a while, but then the cost of the free conventions will catch up to the owners.
Yeah, it won't last
Except
long,
for
basically.
Minicon.
Right. That's a little bit different because they're a product of San Japan, right?
Yep.
They use like Acon did that shit too one year. They did it in a library. So they use the money they earn from San Japan because they earn enough. They actually earn a profit to where they can afford that. But the other cons that are just not profiting, because like believe it or not, 60% of conventions don't really profit.
Yeah, they don't. They kind of lose money like in the beginning.
I can imagine. I would imagine though the city library cons would be fine because the city pays for that.
Right, but there is a limit, like because they do censor like what you can cosplay as,
Mm-hmm.
what kind of panels you can have.
They put like the most restrictions per se.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So there's definitely the free cons are a double-edged sword. They're fun, they're free, it's a great time. Unfortunately, though, the costs do. If there aren't enough because sponsors don't sponsor that much.
Yeah.
And especially if the owners or the staff have like they have lives with jobs that they have to work during the week and they have to focus all this on the convention itself, because a lot of the cons don't pay their staff.
Yeah.
They work for the
mostly
con on a voluntary, right, they're on a voluntary basis. So like there is a lot of like negative, and sometimes that negative, I know this makes me sound like I'm just trying to like badmouth the concept, but sometimes the negatives, even if they're less, can outweigh the positives. Because like a lot of these staff members are people with jobs, they have families, they have lives.
Mm-hmm.
Running a con is not easy. There is one convention where the owner just fucking parties all the fucking time during the con, and it was so like shitty that half the staff of that con quit.
Mm-hmm. It was like, I feel like he was like trying to be like having his own convention so he can enjoy it, but not understanding the business aspect, I guess.
No, they understand the business aspect. They just don't give a shit.
Okay.
Because they got money. I'll tell you exactly what I'm talking about, but not right now. Like not on the show. Sorry, Patreons only. By the way, guys, we are going to start a Patreon. Like for $1 to $5, you can actually. We will share insiders scoot with y'all. We'll do a private, like weekly, like not a podcast, but like kind of like a podcast setting. Like yeah, like a group discussion where we just talk about shit like this. But you can interact with us, talk with us, and we will share the insider information with y'all that we know. Like there's a lot that people share with me, and like there's a lot that I share because I know a lot of people, and like I know there are some groups out there that hate my guts. Blessed with his friends, because I almost got into a fist fight with Voltaire, but you know what? He deserves an asshole. Like I'm just putting it out there. Voltaire is an asshole, and people know me as the guy that told Sean Schemmel to kiss my ass, and he used to be a dick. I'm still waiting on. I'll forget if I talk to him next and he's like, hey, look, I'm really sorry. Like, okay, I'll forgive him. So whatever. I wouldn't fight him. They don't care. Go ahead, Jesse. Just want to know what's your opinion on the 2 movies that came out just recently. Barbie. Oh, we just talked about it. We just talked about it in the beginning of the show.
Yeah.
Barbie. Yes. Oppenheimer.
That was Goku.
It kind of sucks that I can't really cosplay anything from Barbie because it's one of the movies affected by the strike.
Just wear pink.
Yeah, basically, I mean, technically, we all are cosplaying Barbie.
Remember,
anyway.
Barbie
Can be
anybody and they can be anything. That's the beauty of Barbie.
No,
That's
you can go see you can go to the movies in your casual clothes and you're technically cosplaying something from Barbie.
Yeah, so that's what I got from the Barbie movie. It's a double-edged sword. It leads to a lot of bad stereotyping, but at the same time, it's empowering for women, saying that Barbie is supposed to be this beacon of like
hope.
Like it's supposed to show that women can be powerful and they can be anything they want. Barbie is Barbie is everything and anyone, and so that's supposed to inspire women to strive for greatness, and that's the whole point. The whole point of Barbie is that you are Barbie in your own way.
Fun fact, though, Barbie has actually held a lot of those historically significant jobs first before real life women actually did. So Barbie was an astronaut before the first female astronaut was a thing.
It's
She's
actually
also been the president, so it's only a matter of time.
Give it
yes,
time. Yeah.
it is true. Barbie does inspire people to strive for that because it gives you a role model, it gives you something to work towards. But there are people that see Barbie as a horrible stereotype that shows like the figure, the body type, everything is like, oh, this is considered perfect, and like if you don't look like this, then you're not considered perfect in the eyes of society. That's more of a societal perception of things, and it, like I said, it's a double-edged sword. But at the same time, Barbie could be bad and good. It just depends on your perspective of Barbie and how you take it in. So like technically, right now, just sitting in like pajamas and a flannel, technically you're PJ Barbie or whatever,
Right. I think
Like-
it's funny that they still harp on her body type when it's changed a lot, even since the 90s.
So
Because
they
I have an original. I have one from the 90s, and I have one of the made
I'll be
to
back.
move ones that have like 22 joints. They're really cool.
Mhm.
But the body type is way more realistic now for like the base Barbie than it used to be. So I don't know why they still harp on that. But I remember seeing the Barbie that came out, and the one that's in the wheelchair, which I thought was really, really cool. People hated that one so much.
Mhm.
And there's also one coming out that's supposed to be representative of people with Down syndrome, and like it was designed by somebody who has Down syndrome, and people are so pissed off about it. I'm like, what the heck?
There was, I don't know if you remember the Barbie that when you like raised its arm, they even showed it in the movie, when you moved its arms, its boobs got bigger. Or the pregnant Barbie. There was a pregnant Barbie. I didn't even know there was a Barbie in a wheelchair, for honestly.
That's a new one.
But to answer the question, I gave Barbie an 8.5. I gave Oppenheimer a 3. I'm gonna give it a 4, only because when I watched it, I was dead ass tired and I fell asleep during the movie. It's a good movie, but it was so much. It was 3 hours long of talking for a 5-minute and then like the lead up to them exploding the atomic bomb. When it finally happened, it just kind of felt like
Anticlimactic.
Yeah, it was like, okay, we're done. We're here. I saw what I wanted to see. Can I go home?
I wonder how it compares to Schindler's List.
I haven't seen it. I have to give Oppenheimer a second chance because when I watched it, like I said, I drove to Dallas, Bedford, Texas, and back in the same day. I left at 5 in the morning, got back at 4:20. I actually got home at 4:20 and then went to the movies to see it. I didn't realize Oppenheimer was a 3-hour movie. If I had known that, I wouldn't have seen it. But I have to give it a second chance. But as of right now, it's sitting at a 4. I said 3, but I raised it to a 4. It's not a bad movie, but if you're not a history buff or it's just talking. Literally, I'm sorry if that's a spoiler, but and that's kind of what you would expect. But I feel like a Discovery Channel documentary about him and people talking about then rather than seeing the movie would have been a lot better.
Yeah.
Especially because there was no fucking narrator in the movie. And I don't want to spoil the movie, but it was kind of all over the place in the beginning, and I was fucking confused. No, I wasn't confused, but if you don't know anything about the history of it, or you don't know anything, it can be confusing as shit. What the fuck's going on? So
he's the scientist that managed to escape Germany, right? And that became part of the Manhattan Project. That's him, right?
He left Oppenheimer. I don't think he escaped Germany. He's a Jew, but he didn't. I don't remember. I don't know. I was dead. They didn't say anything about him escaping Germany. He did mention that Hitler and the Nazis were killing his people, and that they were trying to come up with a way to help.
Several scientists, Jewish scientists, that were shipped
Right.
to the United
Yes.
States right before everything went down. I think Einstein was actually in that group.
Yeah, he's in the
if I
movie
remember
too.
correctly. Yeah, because he was part of the Manhattan Project.
Right. So they did bring up the Manhattan. So the Manhattan Project was already a thing, and then they turned his project into the Manhattan Project. So I know people are like spoilers, spoilers. That's it. I mean, that's history, guys. Come on, it's already. I think we're like what 70, 60, 90. We're almost at 100 years.
About 80 years.
Yeah, we're at the
We're
80s.
closer to 100 years now that World War II started. Like we are, that entire generation is almost gone. Just think about that.
The baby boomer.
No, baby boomers are
Who-
after that.
Yeah,
Oh,
baby
my bad.
boomers were born after the war ended because when all the men came back, they just hopped on their wives and everybody had like 10 kids. Because
Yeah.
it was a boom of births. That's why they call them the baby boomers.
I think the group that's actually fought is the greatest generation, I believe is what they're called.
They're called the greatest generation because they fought in the biggest war in the history of the world.
The last war that had a clear good guy and a clear bad guy.
Right, and like there's an interview I watched with a certain individual that went to prison in a different country that somehow released on house arrest, who talked about wars like there's perspective. It's based on who thinks they're right, who thinks they're wrong. Not this war. There is a political figure, dude, who was on YouTube a lot, who's very conservative, who people shit on all the time. He kind of did a 45-minute video shitting on the Barbie movie. I'm not going to say his name.
Oh, yes, the
Yeah,
person who.
so-
Yeah.
He
I know
said
what you're
something.
talking about.
He said something about World War II, like because he was watching that video between the. It was the guy who got fired from Fox interviewing Andrew Tate. I'm going to say Andrew Tate's name, and Andrew Tate brought up how, like war, there's no like definitive right and wrong, and he's like, no, I'm going to disagree with that. In World War II, there was a definitive bad guy and a definitive good guy. I agree with that. That is 100% accurate. There was a clear bad guy and a clear good guy. Now, in war, yes, a lot of the times it's based off of, in their eyes, you're the bad guy. In your eyes, they're the bad guy, because it's different ideologies. But in World War II, they were literally trying to wipe out an entire race.
More than just them, too.
Mm-hmm.
There's entire groups of people that were also killed off, and they don't really. Nobody talks about it, and it's very frustrating.
We talk about it. We don't talk about it on this channel, but we talk about it because we try not to make this a political channel. Because honestly, I don't give a shit. Like, oh, what political stance do you have? I don't have one. It's a bunch of like, I'm gonna vote for a rich white guy to tell me what to do. Fuck that. Anyways, Egg, go ahead and plug in your stuff. So Barbie Girl does win the weekend, $160 million opening weekend. It was a really great movie. It does get political at some points, but I really liked it. It was really entertaining. I think everybody should check it out, even if you don't have like I saw it with the homies. There's nothing wrong with a bunch of dudes watching Barbie Girl. We watched it. I fucking loved it. Me and one guy were making jokes for the movie. Barbie's like, "Do you think about death?" And me and the guy were like, "All the time."
See, it can be relatable to some.
Oh, it hit
Yeah,
way
well,
close to home.
Yeah.
I think you would love it. I think you would love it. It's very like they gave an entire speech about how the world is today, and I was like, "Damn,
Damn, bro, get a little too deep here.
I went all like Friday. Damn, like, damn, I came here to see a movie, not a TED Talk."
Damn, speaking of, they put Debo in fucking 2K23.
Damn, that's funny.
They put
Have y'all
Debo.
seen- Have y'all seen that YouTube video where they like Photoshop Oppenheimer into Barbie?
Yeah, Barbie. Yeah, they like could
Barbenheimer.
fuse both of them together.
I don't know if you know who. There's a meme where they have Robbie, Margaret Robbie. It says
Margaret
Barbie,
Robbie,
and then they have Rhea Ripley as Oppenheimer. Like,
yeah. watching Barbie, watching Oppenheimer.
yeah, it's Rhea Ripley. I do not agree. Like, they should have put like a librarian.
Should have been a reverse.
It's, there are only 2 movies I've ever fallen asleep during. No, one movie and one. I was watching the debate, the presidential debate, and I fell asleep during that. And I was a teenager back then. This was years ago.
Uh-huh.
And I watched it, and I watched Oppenheimer, and I fell asleep. Like my friends even gave me shit for falling asleep.
Yeah, you should watch it with full of energy, so like you could actually like fully, give it.
I even bitch like if they had given us. Y'all should have given out line. If this movie was so goddamn long, y'all should have given us Red Bulls or cocaine to keep us up.
Red Bulls and Coke. Yeah,
Because, like, seriously, dude, I was like, no, when you drive for like 10 to 12 hours,
it's exhausting. Yeah.
Mhm. because I drove to DFW and back same day.
Yeah, it's hard, you know. Like if you like were there, then like you stayed a day and then drive back the next day, I think it would have been better. But you know, it's tough at the end of the day, you know.
Not to spoil the game, but a similar speech made its way into my friendly neighborhood.
Oh yes,
I've been meaning to watch Super Horror Bro play that.
Actually, funny story about my friendly neighborhood. A little quick note here. I remember when that game was announced, and the developer was actually hosting a casting call for voices for that game, and I actually auditioned for voices in the game.
Awesome. I wonder if Jacksepticeye's in it. He probably is.
Yeah. Well, speaking of movies, Five Nights at Freddy's, that'll be in October.
Right. Oh, isn't he in that?
Yeah, I think he makes a camp. Markiplier, I know he's in it too, I think.
Yeah. And then Wendigoon is making a movie too.
Yeah, see.
Stalker. I think that's what he's making, is Stalker. I love Wendigoon's channel. It's amazing. But yes, you said to plug my social media. So
Yep.
On Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok, it's just Egg Cosplays, all one word. On Instagram, it is _Egg Cosplays _. And if you follow me and you tell me you're from the stream, I will probably follow you back.
Make sure you follow Egg Cosplay and acknowledge our cosplaying queen.
I think I just hit 800 followers on Instagram.
Oh, that's awesome. Hey.
Don't know how many.
Oh my god. Somebody said Oppenheimer, when Oppenheimer meets when he runs into Albert Einstein, this must be like the Avengers for people who know multiplication tables.
Yeah.
That's pretty accurate though.
It kind of was actually like that was like the hype. Like I was so hyped for that.
It's a big effing deal, you know.
like I know the significance of both. Like Oppenheimer definitely accomplished something that Albert Einstein, like he either couldn't or didn't want to because of the ramifications of that decision, and they talk about that.
Yeah.
Like they talk about like the inventing the hydrogen and the atomic bomb is literally what led to the destruction of the world. Which, if you really think about it in the context of today, yeah, that's pretty fucked.
Yeah.
Major props to Ariel for landing the role he did in that game. Hey.
And it's actually another interesting thing about Oppenheimer too. It's actually I think it's his third biggest opening for Christopher Nolan for the director. Basically, the first two were the Dark Knight and the Dark Knight Rises.
We got an acknowledgement in the chat.
There you go.
There you go.
It's already happening. Fingers up in the air in the chat. Yeah, get the fingers up in the air. There you go. There you go.
Acknowledge you.
She's the one.
So we have different. We definitely have different projects this year. Just certain things that I can't talk about yet. We are going to go ahead and make an announcement. So the reason why we're doing the scores is because we are going to actually crown a Texas convention of the year, not strictly anime,
but convention. The Connies.
The Connies. So we're going to crown 3. So we have a People's Choice Award, we have Con of the Year, and we have Cosplayer of the Year.
Yeah.
So we're going to see how that goes. So we're trying to figure out what the awards are. You might not get the award. So we're not going to announce the winners until mid-January, and the winners might not get their awards until May, considering the fact that the awards I want to give out are a little bit on the expensive side, but we'll see.
So stay tuned.
Right. So we are going to have an official Patreon. If we can get like 30 people to just donate $5 a month, you know how that would help us a lot. So we'll even do exclusive content. I'm even starting to draw again. Like I'll start giving y'all art.
Commissions.
I'll give y'all fucking art. $5 art. So I'm gonna start drawing every day. I got kind of lazy today. We'll definitely like. Also, I'm going to sign up for the Power Ranger selfie line. So I'm gonna have my own Power Ranger figure pretty soon. I heard they're like $50 to $60. They're not that expensive. I thought they're gonna be like $100.
Okay. Like how is it quality wise though?
They've gotten better. Okay. You can do glasses and facial hair now.
Cool. I may do that.
We got to get one for Egg.
No.
Yes. Got to acknowledge you. We got to put you like a little shrine or something so we can acknowledge it. Like we acknowledge you.
I was gonna say, but you don't even know what I look like. But then I remembered I did an accidental face reveal.
Yeah.
on that one Instagram live.
You did.
All right, just screen cap that just in case.
It was like I was happy. I got to see what Egg looked like. It was like a dream come true.
It's always funny to me how shocking it is for people to realize I have red hair. That's the number one thing that catches people off guard. It caught Deacon off guard. It caught Mercedes off guard. It caught several people at WeebCon off guard. They're like, "Whoa, you look completely different." I'm like, that is the point of the cosplay. I'm not supposed to be recognizable in between costume and real life.
It's
Like
true.
legit. It took Deacon over a year to be able to recognize my voice, or anything but my voice. Like that's how he knew who I was between costumes was my voice.
So that's the beauty of my job. They know that I cosplay, and they know about my cosplay, and they don't give a shit. But
So
your situation, yours is different.
My boss
Yours is
actually is
understandable.
super enthusiastic about it.
That's cool.
So I think I lucked out this time.
They're actually like a furry, and they do all that heathen shit. No, I'm just making jokes. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to imply anything. That's actually one of my friends, though. Fucking degenerate. He's watching too. I know you are. Bri, I know you're watching. Not Bryson. Yep. Not Bri guy. Not him. He's cool. He doesn't do that. But my friend Bryson. He's a furry. He admitted he's a furry. So we were talking to Anime Texas. All right, Sonic, plugging your social media. We've gone over time and over budget.
Yeah. All right. Just follow me on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. If you see me on Instagram, follow me at Super Saiyan Sonic. I'm gonna be posting some photos from a photo shoot I did from Anime EXPO. Just gonna have to ready that up, and follow me on YouTube because I'm planning a couple of videos. And follow me on Twitter at Keyblade Sonic YT. I'll be planning to do some, just post any stuff. And then if you see me on Discord, I'm on the Discord here at the Geeks Fiber Discord. I may plug in a couple of my voiceover stuff. If you need anybody over voice, hit me up. And that's pretty much what I got so far.
All right, so just to let everybody know that we did announce for October for the streaming to end on Facebook. That has been now moved up to the end of August. So at the end of August, we are no longer streaming on Facebook anymore. As a matter of fact, we're moving to Kick. We're going to start streaming on Kick. I don't know. It's new. I heard it's cool.
Oh, it's the new Twitch?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. I was going to say.
And we're working on our website. That's why we need the Patreon assistance to help cover the website. We actually do have a website now. It's called geeks5ever.com. There's nothing there. There's
nothing there yet, but we're gonna give us some suggestions. Anybody who's following us on the Discord, anybody who's following us on Patreon, maybe you could help us, decide any ideas. If you want to help out, help contribute.
And with that being said, I do have bad news for our longtime fans, listeners. Unfortunately, with change, with people actually coming on board that want to assist, they want to help, they want to push Geeks 5 Ever. With that being said, Geeks 5 Ever is going to go through a rating change. We will no longer be mature audiences only. As soon as we drop Facebook, we are changing from mature audiences to PG.
TV 14.
It has to be PG, unfortunately. So I definitely have to start. So we won't allow as much cussing. The live streams, I can't stop the live streams, but the pre-recorded shows, they're definitely going to be bleeped. So it is what it is. I know it's probably like, damn it, can't cuss. I know some, but I've been talking to several people, and the rating change does have to happen if I want Geeks 5 Ever to go further, especially if I actually want to start making money off YouTube.
Yeah, because monetizing, you have to, especially, YouTube, they don't mess around with this stuff because also they kind of changed up their program now. Like, if you want to, apply to be, monetization, you have to have more requirements. You have to have, you have to be a 1K sub at least, and then you have to have posting, at least 3 videos every month now. So YouTube isn't messing around with this kind of stuff, I will say that.
Yeah, they're making it harder, but we are on so our goal is to hit 1,000. We are working towards 1,000. I don't know if we're going to hit that number by the end of the year, because we're not like the other. We're going to start doing shorts. We're definitely going to start doing more. normally when Zelda's here, I'm a dad first.
Mhm.
So whenever Zelda's here, that's whenever if we ever take hiatuses, that's the reason why. Just so y'all know in the future, I am a single parent, So it is. My mom, my parents do help me with Zelda.
Yeah.
I'm confident you guys will handle PG better than the WWE did. Probably. We still will do adult exclusive content on our Patreon. We might just do Discord podcasts and we'll figure it out. But for YouTube, Twitch, and Kick, it's going to have to jump to PG. Like the more public podcasts are going to be PG. Live streams, like I said, I can't really stop. So if it slips, it slips. But definitely, like, I know everyone's like, I'm not going to say the name of the podcast. There's a podcast that comes on, people shit on it, but the way they formatted the show is pretty interesting. So we might, I said format, not the way they run the show, not what they talk about, not their opinions, not whatever, but the way they like format the show. That's what I'm interested in. Like with the live stream and then the post live stream, and then we're probably going to take the podcast and divide it into shorts. Like this one, we're probably going to divide it into segments so it's much easier to digest. But with that being said, all right, guys, thanks for watching. We'll be back on Monday. Next week on Monday, it's our Etchy Fiesta podcast. We definitely have some guests coming on the show. Definitely, we have some very interesting guests. Is there another con? Is there? What else is this weekend?
DreamCon.
Are either one of y'all going to DreamCon?
No.
No.
I will say, and also out there, I know some people who are wrestling fans here. Next Monday, if you're there, Raw will be in next weekend. I mean, next Monday.
I tried to get tickets, but they only had them near like they're so high up. Like I don't want to sit next to a pigeon, so I'm just gonna watch it on TV.
Yeah.
And with that being said, Egg cosplays will be back. For Egg is definitely. It just depends on Egg, like for the regular show or for Darkseid. Darkseid's going to continue. We definitely going to do a Pokemon. We're going to continue the lowly Shota, GameStop, working for GameStop, and Anime Matsuri. So if anybody wants to come on the podcast, it's on Fridays. It's called Dark Side of the Community, and we're going to be talking about Anime Matsuri. It's going to be 3 episodes dedicated to Anime Matsuri. And we're even going to do one the day of Anime Matsuri. And so to avoid what happened a couple years ago, the way the show is now done to protect everybody's identities, this banner goes up and nobody can see us. Like if you want to use a voice changer, you are allowed to, but all you see is this banner.
Yeah,
this is it. You can't see us.
Yeah, so just letting you know, if you want your identity hidden, you have to be like, let us know ahead of time, and just have the basically just let us know ahead of time.
Right. Like somebody came on the show and posed as Jace and showed their hot dog on the stream, and that could have gotten us canceled. Luckily, it got censored, so and like YouTube didn't flag us for it because we kicked them off as soon as we saw that. We kicked them off right away. So
yeah.
So yeah, somebody came on the show and showed their dick. So it was awful. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I'm Jesse Goko, so known as King Mexico, Keyblade Sonic Egg Cosplay, and we will see you next week. And don't forget, next week on Friday, Dark Side of the Community comes back. Bye, everyone.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
See y'all next time.